Well, a very good morning to you. Welcome to Sewing Quarter. We're here bright and early. Thank you for joining us bright and early. Gosh. Now, this morning we've got lots of goodies coming up for you. Kind of a quilty kind of a day with some other kitchen-based makes around here. Shall we see what I'm talking about? Any second now. Right, well, I can show. Here we go. Is it coming up? Yeah, here we go. So coming up this morning at 8 a.m. is our table mats and runner. This is a double-sided situation, and so you can, you can get jam on one side, spin it around, so you're good to go. Looks fabulous again. Then 9 a.m. is our cats and dogs cushion for all those animal lovers out there. We've got you covered this morning. Then 10 a.m. is the family apron set. It's very kitsch, it's very cute, and we love it, and you will too. And then 11 a.m. is the bunny person quilt. That's with Victoria. So I've got Jess and Victoria with me all morning. The ladies are here. They are raring to go. And yes, Jess, the plug is different. We don't have a turn-on switch. Oh, yeah. You see, it's all changed in the studio. You go away for a couple of days and all the plugs change. It's all very exciting. Now, this hour, we would love to hear from you. Well, not just this hour, all hours, really. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. And here's how you would get in touch. So if you head to the website, this is where you can watch us live. So wherever you are, if you have the capability, even if you're sat on the bus, on your phone, have a little watch. And then you can message us from wherever you are. And that comes straight through to, it's producer Paul this morning, that's the team this morning. And so you can message the studio, say hello, or anything else really that you fancy saying. And if we get a chance, we will read those out on air. And then products from today's show, that's everything that we're gonna, that's yesterday's, that's about to go. And we're about to have, oh, that's all Tula pink stuff. Nice. Was there actually anything left from Tula's shows yesterday? It all seemed to be selling out when I watched. But there we go. So that was yesterday's shows. That's about to go, and we're about to start afresh with today's beautifulness for you. Now, if you have got pictures of your makes that you would like to share with us, then you can email us, and that's studio@sewingquarter.com. And again, that comes straight through to producer Paul upstairs, who will, sort that out so that we can show it on air. And we are assuming, by the way, that if you're sending us photos, then you're happy for us to, share it on air. If you are brand new to us, and because, of course, we've just started on Sky, so if you've just been flicking through the channels and gone, oh, what's this Sewing Quarter? Well, hello. We're live every day from 8 until 12. And if you are new and you do happen to place an order over £10 today, then you're going to get a brand new gift. And today's gift, when you purchase over £10, that's not including your P&P, you will get a self-healing cutting mat. And that's an A4 size, which is quite a little handy size to take with you here and there, which is brilliant. And if you're anything like me and a messy maker, then actually that's kind of the only size that you end up with to work on. So perfect little gift for you. That's just a little something from us to you to say, hey, hi, welcome. And the other thing that you need to know if you are new to us today is that our P&P works slightly differently to other channels. In terms of it's just £2.95 per day. So if you see something that you love in the shows and it's going really quickly and you must have it, then you just need to check out your basket. And you can check out as many times as you like throughout the day. We don't charge you a P&P every time. We wait until midnight, and everything that you've checked out throughout your day all gets put together, and then the P&P is applied. So it's done per day, not per item, just so that you know. Now, this morning, this hour, Jess is raring to go. She's got her iron plugged in. She must mean business. We are doing this lovely little table runner set. So we've got, this is what it's going to look like, well, if you choose. So it's that. But you see, I'm a messy eater. Well, I'm messy everything, really. And so then, I'll get my jam or whatnot on it. So then if I need to change it around, ba-da, then I've got that. So it's reversible. So you can have it for breakfast and dinner. So we've got, and then you can have your table mats to go with it. Isn't that fun? There you go. And this is the pattern that you can use in order to make this. It's £8.99. Here it is. It gives you different options. So as Jess has done, on one side you could do plainer, and then on the other you could do a bit more whizzy. Different options. You've got napkins, you've got placemats, you've got table runners. You're set. You can look like you're dining in style here. And that's £8.99. And the beautiful thing, I mean, if you look at the front of the packet here, you've got kind of your morning, springtime, a few daffs, this sort of time of year. And then you've got some Christmassy ones. So this is a pattern that you can use throughout the year, more autumnal shades, or, you know, maybe you're going to do a romantic Valentine's kind of thing, you know, make it your own. So it's keep the pattern, use it with your favorite fabrics throughout the year. Now, what we've done for you today is give you 3 different colour options. So the very first one here, is the Birds bundle. Now this is the one that Jess has made. So you see, there you go. If I spin that around, then you get an idea of all the colours. You called this the Cornish collection, didn't you? You like the Cornish blues. So look, that's your placemat. That's one side of your table runner. Isn't it clever? And then that's the other side there. Beautiful colourways. Blues are always so popular, aren't they? So you're getting I can show you. It's a ½ metre of all of those apart from the deeper blue, which you get 1 metre of. So it's a big old bundle. You're getting 3 metres of fabric in there for £23.49. So you're getting, here we go. You're getting ½ metre of your birds. The birds. There they are, ½ metre of your birds. Rather like those. We still haven't decided what sort of birds they are. You're getting ½ metre of your linear in your blue there. It's Riviera blue. You see, it's all very posh hotel, isn't it? Then you've got your spot on in your baby blue. Then you've got your optical white, nice and fresh. And then you've got 1 metre of your blue sea there. So that's how that kit is shaping up. 3 fabulous metres of fabric there. Now, maybe you want to go a bit of Alison Glass in your life. In which case, this bundle here is more of a neutral tones with some peaches. Sort of goes with my top, actually. Blend in nicely. So this is your Alison Glass fabric here, perfectly peachy, ½ metre of that, and then ½ metre of your peach, and then ½ metre of your spot on in sand, and then another ½ metre. I like these neutrals, and then you've also got a ½ metre there in your, no, that's 1 metre, sorry, in your biscuit there. So that's, if you're making, especially if you're making for somebody and you're not quite sure as to their colour tastes, then that's got lots of nice neutrals to have in there. And then one last zesty option for you. This is, they had to do this, don't they? Because they know it's a word that I really struggle to say. Charmingly chartreuse. I still can't say it. Why? It's not a difficult word. Chartreuse. Yes. I'd like to call it fresh and zesty, but producer Paul wouldn't rename it for me. He's mean. So here's your chartreuse. Beautiful. ½ metre of that. ½ metre of your lovely lime green. ½ metre of your linear heron grey. ½ metre of your silver spot on. And 1 metre of your glacier grey for £24.49. LNGC 22. And that are our options. That is our option. Those are our options today. Hello, Grammar. There you are.
Hello, darling.
Jess. How are you, darling?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm here for 2 days.
Hey.
2 days this week.
This is perfect. So am I. Oh, brilliant. Yay! Now, this pattern here.
Yes.
Easy? Difficult?
Easy, I'd say. The only thing is just pay it. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, the only thing that there's a whole load of sort of pattern pieces you actually need, and when you look at it, you don't necessarily need to use all of them. For example, you piece things together, and you have, for example, here we have the pattern piece to make the strips for your triangles for your placemat, which is exactly 3 inches by 22. So you could actually just cut strips which are 3 inches by 22. You don't necessarily need to use the pattern piece.
3 inches by 22 inches.
So if you look at it, so you could either cut the piece and lay it on your fabric, or you could actually just cut the strips, which is what I was thinking, so there are little cheats to it, which is really handy.
So actually, it assumes, because, you know, I would just get my ruler out and fold my fabric in half. And
exactly, that's what I ended up doing in the end.
But if you don't have that kind of...
Then you've got your pattern piece.
Which is perfect.
Which is perfect, yeah.
So it's not assuming that you have a great big stash of creative grids or this, that and the other.
Yeah, because some people may have a smaller cutting mat, so they might not have the great big one. So it sort of assumes that, which is actually really handy. But it's very, very thorough in the instructions.
And these are the makes that they've put on the front here. Different designs. So ultimately you will get reversible table settings, and then whichever pattern you choose to have. And that's what Jess has made. And 2 colourways. 2 different colourways, which is really lovely. I like.
It's actually really good fun because we have, as you say, there were I think there were 5 fabrics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 fabrics.
It's like what's official now.
Yes, whereas on the exactly on the back they've actually used about 8, I think, throughout. So we've actually given more meterage. So you have a lot of fun playing with things, and you do have fabric left over. So I've actually made 1 placemat, obviously, as opposed to the 2, which is what the pattern says, but you still have loads of fabric left over.
And double-sided.
And double-sided, which is really, really nice. The pattern actually uses a fusible fleece. I used an ordinary fleece. It's very easy to actually do. And I also used fleece which comes in the meter, which is how we sell it, but you actually need wider than the meter, so I can show you how you join 2 pieces of fleece together, and you cannot see the join. So it's really, it's a really nice pattern to adapt and make it your own, as they say.
For you,
yes,
I'd say you, the H640. Which is the fusible fleece that all of our designers went crazy for when we first started. There were demands.
It is
There was
brilliant.
upset when we couldn't get it when we first started. And now we've got it and we always have it. In fact, one of our ladies in the office, she's like, buy the roll.
Yeah,
so
it is brilliant.
But $9.99 for a metre of that RPGQ40. And this is how it will come to you. Ta-da! Ta-da! It's just the perfect weight, isn't it? Perfect and fusible and great.
Yep, it is brilliant. It really is. So you can use fusible fleece or you can use the ordinary fleece, whatever you like. But fusible is it's really easy. And if you don't use the fusible, then you can use the other one as well.
I'm just laughing because you know, only people who sew can get excited by what looks
really
like just
nice.
a square of white.
But it's fusible fleece is so easy. I'm using it on project tomorrow.
It's not all created equal, is it?
No, it isn't. And that is really good quality, that stuff. I really, really like it. It's really easy to iron on. If you some things interface into things, if you use steam with it, it ruins everything. This one, you can use it with steam, you can use it without steam. It adheres itself really quickly. You can quilt with it. It is fabulous.
Fusible fleece was always one of those things that I used to loiter around in haberdashery shops because I didn't understand. So it's great when someone can explain it to us. Anne in Cheshire, she says, hi ladies, love to see you both.
Hi, Anne.
Love to have you watching. Thank you ever so much, Anne, for joining us this morning, bright and early.
Early morning, no snow in Birmingham yet. We'll see.
Yes.
Now then,
where do we start?
Always read the instructions on the pattern. There were two sets of instructions, so have a look through. Because it's much better to read and then think, oh, I don't need to know that, versus start cutting out and go, oh. You've seen me trying to work. There are 2 designs. Well, there were 2 designs. There's a B and a C, which tells you here. We have the B and the C options. You can see the B is more triangles versus piece triangles. We have done piece triangles, so we've done strips. So if you don't want to do strips, you're not too sure about joining up the lines, so you can just do these.
That's your sort of easier option.
The easy option.
That one and that one. Or if you want to go all out, then do the pieced options around here. Look at these.
Yeah. One of the things that I was thinking when I was making this was when I pieced the placemat, I thought, oh, that'd be really easy to turn that into a cushion.
Yes.
You could easily make that a cushion and just put some, when you actually join the 2 pieces, just bung some stuffing in there and you got a really nice cushion. I thought it was really nice.
And then it could go on your seat.
Yeah, yes, exactly. In the imagine garden, on your garden seat.
Oh,
It would look really pretty.
Little cafetiere, coffee in the middle, croissant maybe.
Oh, summer.
Oh.
I know, I miss summer.
Won't it, right?
It will, hopefully. Yeah. So you read all your instructions and then you cut out the pieces you actually want. It tells you, I'll turn it around so you can see a bit better. I've started to put pencil marks on.
All like the pieces these you need.
Instructions. Yeah, they're really thorough. And then right at the end, we just find the last instruction. I love the fact they have little pictures every now and then of scissors and rotary cutters and pins.
And also that it's in different colours, so it makes it very easy.
Here we go. I don't know if the camera can zoom in on that.
Oh, they probably will.
Do you think they can read that or not?
Yeah, they're coming in, they're coming around.
There you go. What's it say? Hooray, you're finished. Give yourself a hug for good measure. I love that.
No pun.
No pun
intended, clearly.
I think that's really cute. So, some really nice instructions, very clear on what is the right side, the wrong side of fabric, all the different fabric colours, because they've got 8 here, so you just work out what you're going to do.
Yes.
And then you can actually refer to the full instructions of how to put everything together. So, first of all, we're going to cut our pieces out. So we cut our pieces out from our lovely paper.
Do you know, it's a small thing, but it makes me very happy. You know, with some patterns that you get.
Yeah.
And all of the instructions are written on this type of paper.
Yeah.
And by the time that I've finished with it, shredded
Yes.
and a right old mess, and the dog stood on it, and
Yeah,
you know, just
ripped it in some way.
This is actually printed on proper paper, so
Yeah,
you get that on proper paper and that on pattern paper, and that makes me happy.
It makes me
I'm
happy
used to
too.
these.
And of course, with these instructions, you always have, trying to find some white so we can put it against. Find a bit of white so you can read it a bit better. Here we go, right at the end. So you can see on your pattern instructions, it's got where to put the grain of the fabric, so when you're actually cutting it out, and also where things should be sort of lined up. What I would say is there are loads and loads of these triangles which are all the same.
Right.
You only really need one because you're only doing the strip width is exactly the same throughout.
Yes.
So you don't really need all of those.
So if you are just doing your plain triangles, then you've just got your plain
There we are,
triangle
plain triangle.
shape.
Yep.
But then if you do want to do the ones with the different stripes, then that is your placement line there and there,
Yep.
so that
So
you
you can cut
line
out.
everything up.
Yep.
And that's a great thing. And then you've got your grain of line there.
Yep.
Brilliant.
So, first of all, you work out your fabrics, and once you've worked that out, draw a little diagram so you can refer to it. Then you cut out your pieces of paper, your pattern pieces, and you lay them on your fabric. For example, if you're going to do your plain triangle, which we have here, I've already cut one out so you can see.
Oh, and the charmingly chartreuse.
Chartreuse. You can see I've actually cut out this, and it says to transfer the dot, the little mark there, little sort of colour mark is the dot. That's so you can know how to join things up to get your perfect point. So you cut all your, if you're doing just triangles, cut those out first of all. You also cut out your what shape is that? Hexagon. Your hexagonal shape.
Yes.
In fleece, because this hasn't got a plain backing. You could, if you wanted to, just have a plain backing. You would, and not have it double-sided. If you just wanted,
you could.
exactly, you could.
Yeah. And then you'd leave more if you wanted to do cushions.
Exactly.
If you wanted to do matching cushions, you could, yeah. Okay.
So what you actually do is you cut out, this asks for, the reason why this is quite thick is it's got 2 layers of fleece. So you do each side, you piece each side, put either fusible fleece or stay stitch ordinary fleece round the whole of the actual outside, and then you put them right sides together and you sew them around and turn them through until turning out. And that's why it's nice and sort of padded. If you wanted to have like a sort of a hot pad, you could put, what's that stuff called? Do you
the
sell?
Thermolan. The compressed Thermolan.
So you could put hot plates on it, for example. You can use them as
nice.
yeah, you could do whatever you want. So anyway, so cut out your if you're doing plain triangles, you cut out your triangles, put those to one side, you cut out your fleece hexagonals, put those to one side, and then you make your strips. So for the placemat, this is the placemat piecing strip, which is 3 by 22. So you either use this or you cut your strips.
Yes.
You then sew them together in the combination you choose. We're going for placemat C, which we're doing this side today.
Oh, nice.
Which has got the same
this.
thing. I love that. That is the Cornish blue of Cornishware, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
No, it is.
If you had Cornishware, wouldn't that look lovely? I have blue and white china. I was thinking, I was sort of laying it out on the dining room table, just putting things on, going, that looks nice. Might make those. So with this particular design, with the actual design, we're following the design from the pattern. It's got the same fabric sort of going through the middle and then alternating triangles. So what you actually do is it tells you, it also says on here, bearing in mind this is designed for 2 placemats, so you cut it in half if you're doing just one.
Yes.
It tells you how many to cut of your fabrics for each particular one, and you refer to your instructions on fabric 6, I think is this one, fabric 5 is this one. However,
so it's very clear.
Very, very clear.
That's
very,
what
very
we
clear.
like.
So once you've actually worked out your strips and you cut them out, you then sew, for this, as you can see, it's got 2 sort of strips. It's got the spot and the Cornishware, and then it's got the white and the Cornishware.
Yes.
So I have sewn 3 of them together. As you can see, you sew them together. With quilting, you normally press to one side. With this, it tells you, with a 1/4 inch, by the way, it tells you to press your seams open. This is when you've got your mini iron, be really, really handy, because using a standard, you usually have a sort of sore thumb there from the steam going across there.
Yes.
Yeah, so you press your seams open on all of this. So once you've actually done that, it's nice and smooth, you then take your triangle piece, and you can see that your placement lines here should line up with your seam line. Can you see that there?
Perfectly.
Don't worry about the fact that the top of the triangle piece is missing on this. It will be because this is actually 3-inch strips sewn together, which gives you 2 and a... What does that give you?
Well,
2.5
also,
less. Yeah.
when we have the creative grids triangles, then you'll see the top of it is flat like that rather than that, because it cuts off the dog ear for you.
Because otherwise
so
it's too bulky.
that's only going to be that bit that you'd end up having to cut off anyway. So it's kind of integrated that in the pattern,
it has.
which I like. But don't panic about it, because that's the other thing. If you didn't realise that, then you might panic that you hadn't done a big enough piece.
You think, hang on a minute, I haven't done this right. You have. It's absolutely fine. The most important thing is that your bottom of your triangle lines up with the bottom of your stitch line. That bit doesn't, because you cut that bit off, as you say. What I would say at this point is this is a non-directional fabric. When you cut your triangles, it asks you to cut them like so. We should do 3 for sides. You can see it like this. So you have a bit left over. So if you have actually got a directional print, as we have here.
Oh, with the birds?
The birds. Roly from, what's it called? Hey Dougie. Have you seen that? Oh, I love Hey Dougie. Anyway, I still watch that, even though my youngest child is 8. I watched that without them. Anyway, I know it's children's TV. I don't care. It's gorgeous. So what I would say is, with that one, if you did follow the instructions, then this directional print will be upside down.
But would it though? Because
yes, it would.
Well, only if, as you're looking at it, you'd have 2 going that way, and then it would actually be facing you.
Well, it would be, but so because hang on a minute, I don't like that. So what I ended up doing when you're working it out,
you did extra, didn't you?
I did. What I actually do is I cut, these 2 bits, but I also made sure when I had enough scrap material left over to actually just think, okay, if I need this sort of shape, how much fabric do I actually need at this top bit here? And you only cut enough there, and then you stitch those up, so a little bit sort of raggedy, and then you lay it on, and then you cut it out. So you can use little pieces of fabric if you don't want to do loads of strips. Because you could, if you wanted to, just make them all individual. Anyway, but I like this one because it's really handy. It shows you the placement line. So what we do at this point is you could either pin it and then cut it out with a pair of scissors, or you can do, as I do, is we have pattern weights as well, don't we? Should we just show them the pattern weights a sec?
Pattern weights.
Because I tend to, with things like this, I tend to, especially the bigger pieces, the smaller pieces, I love these. They're really...
They make me want to juggle.
They're really malleable.
But it makes me want to learn.
They're really... I think John had them on air the other day. I think he had a pink set. And they look like they're sort of rubbery, but they're actually really sort of nice, thick canvas.
They're filled with heavy beans to weight them down. But they're very tactile, and you get 4 in a pack for £12.50. It's one of those things that I was saying, well, I'll just make my own. But actually, that's really small and fiddly, and
it's really small and fiddly.
never actually get around to it. So £12.50, they're yours, they're done. CAPH08, if I'm honest.
Plus,
I'm never going to get around
to be honest, I am a lady in my 40s. And I know, you can't tell, can you? And my hands, because I do an awful lot of sewing, because I do this as a job, crazy, isn't it? My hands, especially my right hand, because I'm right-handed, gets really sore and stiff. So you need to exercise it. This is actually really nice. It's like a stress ball. You can actually sit there, watch a bit of telly, and just play with this bit.
Watch a bit of children's TV,
Children's TV, switch off,
something highbrow.
Exactly. So. Anyway, so I would actually place this on here just to hold it. So you've got, especially if we've got a bit of breeze here in the studio, and just place this once you've actually got the where you actually want it to go. Just put one down there. Make sure.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just plonking them down.
They're nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then I have loads of rulers. And I have my favourite 12.5 little quilter's ruler, which is the one I tend to use for cutting out small pieces. Then I just put that on there. Make sure that's lined up at the bottom, and then using my rotary cutter, make sure you don't cut off the edge of the pattern.
Oh, no, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
And off you go.
And off you go. Tested it this morning, should be nice and sharp. Mixing a little bit. There we go. So you have dog-eared bits. The question is, do you keep these?
Yes.
Can't help it, can you?
Yes. Yes, I have a whole stash of weird and wonderful off-cutty bits.
It's
They'll
weird,
come in
isn't
handy
it?
at some point.
It's the, and then you have the sort of the look, don't you, from your husband, where he goes and he looks at your stuff and you're like, and?
No, he stays out. He's
wise
not allowed
wise man. Valentine's Day next week.
Are you all sorted?
No.
No, right.
No, I was talking to the kids wondering what we're going to get Daddy. And they were like, why am I going to get Daddy something? It's like, because we do.
Because we do.
So at this point, once you've got your lovely triangle, you go, oh, isn't that lovely? You have your little dot. You can't really see it here because I've already got a little mark on. Let's see if we can find one slightly better. Here we go. You've got your little dot there. This is your marking to transfer. This is your joining dot. So what I do, you could either put a little sort of pinhole through it and then mark it however you actually want. I tend to, because this is my favourite, as we know, this lovely favourite brown pen.
It's everyone's favourite.
It is brilliant. Line it up like that, and then just do the little dot. If you press through this particular paper, it transfers it underneath.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There you go.
So transfer the marks. It's like dressmaking, isn't it? You just transfer whatever marks there are on the pattern, you just transfer it across.
So let's just line this up and put that on the
placement line. And again, you've got those placement lines, and that is what's going to give you that perfect collection all the way around. Connection all the way around. Half the stock is gone. Of which one, Producer Paul? Oh, the pattern. Half the stock of the pattern's gone. Now, so if it's in your basket, please check out your basket because half it's already gone.
It's a really nice little pattern if you're thinking, because we're coming into spring and summer and you want to do something for the garden, that sort of thing.
Of course you do.
My cutting table at home, which is the edge of the dining room table, I can actually just move around. So this is this weird angle where you can only do something on this line, so I'm going to turn that around like this.
We should have given you our rotating cutting mat, shouldn't we? And then you could have just
I keep looking at that.
Around.
I keep looking at that and wondering what it's like.
You need it in your life, Jess. It just makes everything a bit easier. Now we've got 20 odd minutes left.
That's all right. I'll just piece these because I've already done one side. I'm just going, and then we can show you how you piece them together because I've done the other one as well.
Yes.
So if I get them, you can lay them out. You can have a look. So what I've actually decided to do is on the there you go. So I put them there. You can put them in the design. You can see what they look like.
Oh, nice. Oh, we're doing alternates, are we?
Yes, we're doing alternates. Because that's the thing. You can do whatever you actually want. If you wanted to, you could have the same fabric going sort of in the middle row. Or you could have all three fabrics going sort of, you know, one this way, one that way, one that way. And so you could have sort of a pinwheel going round and round and round. I'll just cut that one.
I will learn to say chartreuse.
I thought it was chartreuse. You say chartreuse, but
probably
then again,
is. In fact, do you know what? One of our viewers even messaged in to tell me how to say it, and that was a while ago, and I've forgotten. So yeah,
it's a bit
pronunciation.
Tricky, isn't it?
Me, I could never read the news. Could you imagine? I'd get myself in a right old pickle.
You do wonder whether some newsreaders are actually reading something, and you can see them going, "Oh, here we go. I'm not sure how to say that." Right, okay, let's just
it's great, isn't it?
And then you've got the final one like that. So
I'm missing one, Jess.
You are. I'm just going to do the little dot.
Oh, Jess has got it, that's why.
Yeah, I'm just cutting it last one out. So don't worry, I've already done the other side. So it's done. Okay.
Perfect.
So then you actually pin them together. It tells you to pin them in pairs.
So that's what it's going to look like.
Yep.
Looking good.
And then the other side, which I've already pieced. Da-da-da. Looks like that.
Oh, wow. Gosh, look at that. And so you've done, different fabrics in there.
I love this fabric. I think Jo did her elephant in this fabric. I really love that print.
That is our heron grey linear fabric.
Heron grey.
Heron grey. Yes. And you get 1/2 metre of that in this bundle. In fact, I'm just looking. It's the glacier grey. It's that light grey that you get the metre of. But everything else you get 1/2 metre of. Plenty to play with there. Isn't that fabulous?
So as you can see, this is actually using a different fleece. So I've just stay stitches around the outside. But when you reach this stage, you actually, once you've all pieced it and ironed it and lovely, you would actually press your pre-cut fusible fleece on the back.
Nice.
And it's really easy. So then you actually need to piece this together. So to piece these together.
Would you cut? Hang on. Would you pre-cut that first? I'd be tempted to actually pop it on and then cut my fleece.
You could do what you could, but then you could. You could do that because...
It's only because I don't quite trust my sewing.
No, I would. Actually, yeah, because if you want to do that, you could actually lay it on your fusible fleece, and then you've got your pattern piece already cut for this hexagonal, so you can put it on top just to make sure the edges line up and then cut it round. Yeah, you could do that.
Right.
So to actually piece these together, and I can piece these together, I know you want to go through the fabrics in a minute, don't you? And I can sew them all together.
So what you can't even hear Producer Paul.
I have been here a while.
Oh, you know the drill.
The most important thing is to line up your seam lines.
So we are right sides together, but you press these open because when you're quilting, often you'd press to opposite sides so that they nest in, and that makes life really easy. But no.
This one, because you want it, No, you could if you wanted to. It's up to you. But because you have a fusible fleece in the background, you want it sort of vaguely smooth. So what you do is because this fabric has got a nice, the way it's been cut, it's got a nice sort of bit of stretch to it.
Yeah.
You line these two bits up together, the actual seams, pop a pin through the actual seam, because then you know that's in the right spot.
And then would you check on the other side to then make sure that it's gone through exactly?
Yeah, so you can see, hang on, let's just line it up and get a bit better. Yeah. Pop it through so it lines up on that side there. And then you pop this one through. And then you make sure that your dot, you sew from the marked dot that you've actually got at the top.
Oh, that's why we did the dot at the top?
That's why you did the top at the top, because you sew, there you go. So you sew, make sure those two dots line up, which should be a 1/4 inch.
So would you pop a pin through both? And
I would pop a quick pin just to have a quick look.
You see, some of our guests hate pins. Well, you know,
these pins, that sounds really weird. These pins are really sharp. So yeah, so you just wiggle it around a bit so it actually lines up. And then you sew all the way down there for 1/4 inch, and then you press the seam open and you go and go and go all the way around. So I shall start doing that, shall I?
Shall I let you just do that?
I'll just do all these. I'll start doing them.
Jess is just going to do straight line sewing.
Straight line sewing from the dot all the way down to the bottom. Yeah.
And then she's going to move around while I come and show you, all of our fabulous fabrics. It's a little hint of what we've got coming up later as well. So, producer Paul says, let's start do how do you say it, Jess? Chartreuse. Basically, zesty. Let's go zesty first. So, you've got, is this from the hand-picked range? Can't remember now which range that was from. Yeah, it is the hand-picked. So this is actually organic cotton, this one here, from your hand-picked range, which is really rather lovely. It's nice, isn't it, to have a bit of organic. Even the I was going to say ink. The colour is even. The dye, thank you, producer Paul. Yes, is also organic, which is fabulous. So there we go. 1/2 metre of that. 1/2 metre of that one, and that lovely Heron grey that we were talking about, 1/2 metre of that, and then I really like the silver spot on there, and then your glacier grey you get 1 metre of, so you're getting 3 metres in this bundle. It's a big bundle, a lot of fabric, but if you fancy cheering up your dining table, maybe you've just got a little dining room, little you know, sort of maybe outside in the garden you've got one of those kind of I always think of them as like coffee shop tables. Be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay, now here we go. Birds, the birds, the birds. Now this is the one that we've seen made, which means that it's always popular. Please do check out your baskets. Don't miss out on this one. There are your birds there. Producer Paul likes this one. This is his favourite. There are your birds. And then you've got 1/2 metre of birds, 1/2 metre of your lovely Riviera linear there. And then you've got your baby blue in your spot on. You've got your optical white. It's a good white, which makes those blues really come to life. And then this one here is the one that you've got 1 metre of, and that's your, is that ocean blue? Blue sea. There you go, it's close, isn't it? Blue sea, ocean. Now, the last one has got some Alison glass fabric in, which is very lovely. This is just peachy. It's really lovely because you've got sort of stars and all sorts going on in the background there. And then so you've got 1/2 metre of that, then 1/2 metre of, yeah, pretty much peachy. And then you've got 1/2 metre of your spot on stone, or is it stand? Stone, isn't it, that one? And then 1/2 metre of your ecru, and then 1 metre of your biscuit. Yeah, I could do a biscuit right now. 23.49 LMGC11, and of course the pattern as well. Here's the pattern. Over half the stock has gone. I mean, that's checked out and gone. Do you remember I said at the start of the show, it's only yours once it's checked out. That's why we do our postage, so that you can check out as many times as you like throughout the day. You only get charged 1 P&P. Now, already there's 6 of you sat with it that isn't checked out. Please make sure you check out your basket. That's just at this particular second in time. So $8.99 for that. And then you've got the pattern there, so you can just make it for all different occasions. So you've got your candlelight dinner there, your morning breakfast. I could do a croissant as well. I'm really hungry this morning. That's what we're making. And all sorts of different colours.
There was a croissant out in the office earlier, and I know it was there since yesterday. I really wanted it.
You see, a couple of seconds in the microwave would just whiz that up a little bit.
Oh, I wish you hadn't said that. I'm really hungry now.
Well, yeah, it might still be there when you come off end, and you can have it as a little in-between.
Is that like picking things up from the floor when it's been there 5 minutes, though? Is that pushing it?
Well, no, it's just been in the office.
What I would say...
We're a clean bunch.
We're a clean bunch. As you can see, this is one side, so you do half and half. So would you mind very sweetly pressing that for me while I just do the next one? What I would say is when you put these two together, if, for example, it doesn't line up, you just stretch the fabric, which is a bit too long, and then it will stretch like this. Can you see?
It's at that point, because it's a triangle, it's cut on basically almost the bias, isn't it? So there is a little bit of stretch.
Yeah, so you can stretch it.
Do you know what I was also thinking? You know, Jess, you said about the pattern piece, and you said that you had the 3" by 22" straight pattern piece.
Yes.
I suddenly realised last night on our brand new Sewing Quarter fan page, there was a lovely girl on there called, I think it was Rebecca.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, you know, with the creative grids and stuff, is it all in inches? Because I'm only a centimetres girl. And I thought, well, if you are only a centimetres girl, then actually having that pattern piece means that you don't have to worry about measuring the inches.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why pattern pieces are really handy. I mean, I know for Simply Sewing, we tend to work in centimetres and inches, but as a preference using centimetres.
Right.
But you can just transfer. I mean, sometimes I actually sort of design something and it says you want something which is 6 inches, which you know is approximately 15 centimetres, you know. I think with a lot of things, as you say, with a pattern piece, it does make life a lot easier. You could, if you wanted to, scale it down. Yeah,
I mean, I had to learn inches because I grew up in an era when inches were out, metric was in.
Inches weren't a thing, were they?
They weren't a thing, you know. So, you know, that's why pattern pieces are great. You can't assume, can you, that people have that, you know, are there with it all.
No, I agree.
But she said her mum was going to teach her inches anyway. That's all fine.
Now, there we go. So I'm going to show you now on this side. Oh, very nice. So what you actually have...
You've done a good job, Jess.
Well done. Thank you.
Go you.
So as you can see, the reason why you actually sew from the point is so that you can move things. You won't have the central bulk. Yes. As it were. So when you're actually piecing, you've done one triangle. To piece the other triangle, lay that face down, this face up. Make sure you get the right edge. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, completely change the look of it and do like a runner like that.
Well, you could. Oh, hang on. Put it back. We whizzed it way too quick.
You could make sort of like runners. Like, wouldn't that be lovely doing a runners or a quilt like this? That would look really pretty. So when you're actually joining the triangles together, you push the seam. You press the seams when you finish your sort of side. You push this seam away. So you've just got the dot there, so you don't sew through the other seam, and you put that on top of there, so when you actually have them together, you're only sewing through the point at the top, you're not going through the other bit of fabric. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Perfect sense.
Okay, cool. So I'll just pin that.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, there we are then.
We've got 15 minutes, Jess,
That's
just to
fine.
let you know.
We'll do this one, and then we can sew the 2 bits together, and then I can show you that. So I'll just pin this.
Jess, do you do fusible fleece on the top and the bottom of it?
You do, yes. It says,
really? It's going to be quite padded then, isn't it?
I mean, if you look at that one, it is quite padded. So you could, if you wanted to, only do it on one, to be honest. But it does it's got a nice weight to it as a garment. Is that a garment? Not garment, you don't wear it. As a thing, it feels really nice and chunky thing.
But it does, and things of quality don't feel flimsy, do they? You know, generally. So it's a good sturdy piece.
Yeah.
Which is really lovely. So it's nicely padded. It's going to protect your surface. Because this is it. I mean, if you've got something that's nicely French polished, then you don't want to put things that are hot down on it. So this is absolutely perfect. If you have small children, they get mess everywhere. You can wash these. That's also great. You see, my dad won't let us put anything down on their table without a mat.
Really?
Oh,
he's learned, hasn't he?
And he used to make cork mats when we were kids. And of
course, making a cork mat?
Yeah, he used to cut them himself.
Wow.
And make cork mats.
That's pretty impressive.
And then, of course, we used to pick them and get shouted up to. And my son now does exactly the same thing.
Does
and
he?
I just look at Dad and I'm sorry, it's in the genetics.
I get it now.
You can't help it. But it's really lovely. Actually, my brother's got a nice little coffee table out in his garden. He's only got a little garden, but he's got a very pretty little metal table, 2 little metal chairs. It looks like a Parisian cafe.
Oh, one of those.
And
I
could just imagine this draped over there for a morning cafetiere of coffee.
And the days when you can go out into the garden, we just press this open. When you can actually go out in the garden. Oh.
It'll happen.
And not go out there and look at bulbs and think, come on, spring.
I've got bulbs up.
Oh yeah, ours up as well. I love it. And my mum always used to say, because from the Yorkshire Dales, that they were always 3 weeks ahead season-wise. Especially when it came to autumn, they were always well ahead of us.
Yeah.
But in the spring, it always feels as if we're ahead. I mean, I walk through this lovely park called Hedgemead. I take the boys to school every day, and we've got masses of daffodils just about to go yellow.
Beautiful.
That lovely feeling when you, here it comes.
It's on its way, it's on its way. Hey, a lot of you have got your pattern coming to you on its way. We're down to single figures. So if you want that this morning, please check out your basket.
Now, so if you have 2 pieces like this.
Sorry, I'm busy.
That's all right. So as you can see, your triangle point has now gone into that lovely sort of point there.
Yes.
So you join them together.
And don't panic, because at that point, there is a 1/2 inch seam. So the point will be 1/2 inch in, if you like. So don't think, oh, I haven't got it on point, and chop it off.
Yeah, I mean, just leave it. It really doesn't matter. I mean, this is something you're making after all. If you do it wrong, you just think, okay, and start again. So make sure your points are lined up.
Actually, it comes together quite quickly, doesn't it?
It does come together quite quickly. It's quite a sort of a, it's like any of these, any pattern, the sort of deciding what you're going to do and the cutting out fabric and pattern pieces, I always think they take half the time.
Yes.
Once you've done those, but the actual stitching part of it is actually really, really quick.
I always struggle a bit with instructions, so I'm always really pleased when there's been a show and I've actually seen it done live too, because that just makes life easier for me. It's just how my brain works. Everybody's brain works differently, doesn't it?
It does.
It's just how my brain works.
Now, what I would say is, if you sort of suddenly think that's a bit higher than the other, don't worry about it, because you just wiggle it along.
There's a bit of wiggle room.
There's a bit of wiggle room with this. So when you're actually doing the runner, you can see you've got 24. So you make the 4 there, and then you add the central bit, and that one pivots. So when you actually made your 4 of these bits, you then put this right sides together like this, making sure your point matches up here. And then you sew that up, and then you pivot this round, so then you spin it. Yeah.
Nice.
So that you think that looks really complicated. It really isn't.
It's clever, isn't it?
Yeah, and with any of these things, if you're not too sure, then do a little test, a little mini test on a bit of scrap fabric first to see that you're happy with actually doing the technique.
I love the fact that it's reversible, so you've got 2 goes at it before it has to go in the wash.
Yeah, yeah, I love
practical.
That.
Always practical.
From a sort of yeah, you know what? From a
sticky-fingered mother's point of view.
This is my life is completely. I want it to. My life's surrounded by chaos, but I don't want it to be chaos. I want it to look quite nice from a point of view.
Yeah, let's pretend we're Stepford. Let's do that.
Well, we have the apron over there.
Yeah, we do. Oh,
love
it's
that.
all about being the
so
domestic
kitsch.
goddess
It's lovely,
today,
isn't it? It really is. It's really kitsch. I love it.
Freddie's taken to just saying to me, Mummy, there's a mess there. You need to clean it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, who's made a mess?
Who's made a mess? Is that you?
Who needs to clean it up?
I've got a great response to that. Whenever any of mine say, Mum, blah, 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 I just look at them and go, and? I go, nothing. It's like, nothing. You want to make any other comments on the house? No? Okay, good. Lovely.
I've got to show you this mess, Mummy. Oh, great.
Right. My sister, when she was, when we were young, we lived in the Far East because that's where the army posted us. We were in Nepal, and on her 4th birthday, we had a house with a veranda which went all the way around. On her 4th birthday, my mother came out of the house and saw one of the pillars had B and 4 in red paint. And she looked at my sister, who had red paint on her hands and was holding a brush, which also had red paint in it. And she said, "Did you do that?" And she said, "No." And she said, "You're a nut." And my sister said, "I am a peanut." Anyway, but there we are. So that,
and they're the things you remember, aren't they?
Things you remember. So there you are. That is your sewn piece.
Yay,
at this point, there you go. So what you do at this point is it tells you, you don't have to press this one up, you just press it to one side. And when this is all nice and smooth and like super smooth,
yes,
you then get your your fleece, or you would either iron it onto your fusible fleece or with this one. And because this, this is the right size, you just pin everything, or if you're ironing it, you iron it on, make sure it's all smooth, iron it all on. We haven't got long now, have we?
No, not long at all. That's
cool, I'll just show you, then I'll see how far I can get. So you'd have that all like this. What I decided to do was, because mine wasn't a fusible, mine is ordinary fleece, so I actually stitched in the ditch just to get a bit of detail. Because you could, if you wanted to, stitch on this, whatever you want. You could quilt the whole thing. Exactly, it's up to you.
All together now.
All together now. So once you have, you've finished them however you want them to be.
Yes.
You then place them right sides together.
Yeah.
Leave a turning gap. You don't need a huge turning gap because it's not that massive. John says, oh, you leave one, put your hand through. Some of the turning gaps I do, as long as I can get in there, especially when you're doing, toys and things. So you just have it sort of that sort of size, and you stitch with a 1/4 inch from there all the way around, like that. Cut off the corners by just snipping them like this, so you don't have the bulk. Turn it right sides out.
Yes.
Use your lovely
pokey
kebab
stick
to poke out your corners. Just poking this. And then what it tells you to do is to hand sew the turning gap.
Now I have to tell you this morning, you're so sweet. Dash and Natasha, take a look at this, because you can't see it. It's invisible stitching. You really can't see it. And she's right, you really, really can't. You're very proud of this, aren't you?
I'm very proud of this. So when you actually have something which is bulky like this, invisible, when you slip stitch it, you'll see the edge. So you can either do the cheat, which is to making sure your stitch length is long, because it's quite a lot of layers of fabric, go all around and sort of top stitch around the outside to close the turning gap.
I'm happy for a cheat like that. Yeah.
Or you can do as I did, and you stitch it like this. So what you've actually done...
How did you do it? Hang on, they're coming in.
Hang on. So you can see, because you press it, you can't really see it at all. So you look, it's the same. There you are. Which one's been stitched and which one hasn't?
Let's have a look.
I love this linear print so nice. So what you actually do is...
It's that one, isn't it?
It's that one, yeah, just a little bit there. So what I do is I press this within an inch of slice to give it the crease.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of stitch sort of far in, and you can pull as far in as I can get within the sort of hidden bit. Yeah. And just stitch it together, little stitches, because it's going to be hidden anyway.
So you don't do a ladder?
No, not with
or a slip.
No, because if you did a ladder or a slip stitch with this, you'd actually see it. You just play around with what you want. What I was going to say before you go and do something else is we were talking about.
Still got 5 minutes.
Oh, have we? Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, you can sew whatever.
I'll do some sew. Oh, I'll just talk about this one first, and then I'll see how I get on with this.
Okay.
We talked about. When fleece comes, and fusible fleece, unless you buy it in a off the roll.
Oh yeah,
yes,
this is brilliant.
It tends to come by the meter,
this, yeah.
and it comes by a lot of things come by the meter. When you have something like this, it tells you to cut a piece 122, and you think, I can't do that.
Yeah, I bought a meter.
I can't do that. This is actually using a meter of fusible fleece, and what you ended up doing, well, a meter of fleece, is you cut it in half.
Right.
So you have 2 pieces together, and then I joined them together.
Show us how you join, because this is actually where it gets. Well, this is brilliant, isn't it? Because then you're making what you've bought go further, because you can get it whatever size you need it to be then.
Now, fusible fleece, you don't need to do that, because you just put the pieces really close together next to you on the ironing board, on the back of your fabric, and just press nice and firm, and therefore you won't have the line. And I've actually got that tomorrow on a bag I've actually made, and you cannot see anything at all.
So if you're doing the fusible fleece thing, then the details will come up on the screen. It's $9.99 for a meter of it. So you'd cut it to the size that you want, and then, like Jess says, just put them really close together.
Yeah, and press and iron, and that's fine. If you've got any other type of batting, batting, like this one, what you end up doing is you think, I'm going to have to join pieces together, but I'm going to see it and it's going to look rubbish. You don't need to worry about that. Because as you can see, it doesn't.
It doesn't. No, it looks fabulous.
So, and that's 2 layers of it as well. So it's got 2 joins. So what you actually do is you make sure that the edges are completely smooth, completely straight. You need just 2 straight edges like that. Those are the edges you want to join together. Yeah. So what you do is you set your machine to a zigzag. Mm-hmm. And I'll do it in a minute, hopefully, but live TV, So here's one I prepared earlier. Live TV, folks. You set it to, and test first on a piece just to make sure you're happy with it. You line up the center of your needle, where your actual needle goes through, onto this middle line. Yeah. Check the width. You want a wide zigzag, but not too wide. And then you zigzag the 2 pieces together.
So you know, we'll see how close in we can get. But look, that is just zigzag stitched all the way together. It's just catching each side to hold that in place. And that's it. And that means that you can actually, it's far more cost effective.
It's much more cost effective. I'm a real thrift person. I hate, I mean, I feel really, really bad whenever I have loads of fabric, because I do loads of stuff for mags and TV now these days. And I tend to donate mine to the school. And I do keep the occasional bits myself because it's so lovely, and the offcuts. But I hate throwing things away, and you know, wadding and things I hate. So I have loads of bags of bits just in case. So if you needed to, because there's nothing worse than you've got a little bit and you think, oh, I don't know how to do that. But you can easily sew them together, and as you can see, it looks absolutely fine.
Because you always buy wadding that's so much bigger, especially if you're quilting, so much bigger than you need. So you're always going to get. So you know, yes, there's always a bit left over. Go with the fusible fleece, but you might have some in your stash that you can sew together and use this. So you just let's see this then, a quick zigzag together.
Point to note, this is a 1/4 inch foot. You cannot do a zigzag on a 1/4 inch foot because it's only got one hole. I did it twice when I was half asleep, and I had to change the foot and then unpick it.
You're lucky you didn't have to change your needle as well from snapping it.
Oh, I know. So make sure you've got your ordinary foot on. Okay. So I'll just change it back.
So you'd need, with some machines that's going to be called a satin stitch foot. Some it's just...
Whatever you call it. Now then, I'm just going to, where are we? Zigzag. Where's zigzag on here? 10.
Now your... pattern is pretty much sold out, so well done if you managed to get hold of that. A lot of you are going to be dining in style.
Dining in style. I'm just going to test my zigzag.
Okay.
See what it looks like.
So do you want it quite long and quite wide?
You don't want it necessarily too wide. That's probably a bit too wide. But we'll just do it for now, just so you can see. So, when you put this together, that's all right.
Zigzag this together.
So just make sure we've got the right ones. Where's the right ones? There we are. So just push the two pieces together.
So you don't pre-pin it or anything?
No, because if you pin it, you need it smooth.
Okay.
So just push it down and just do 1 or 2 stitches just to see. Can you see this just going across so you can see what it looks like? You're happy with that? Yeah. So it's in the centre. And then make sure it's on, this has got a lovely thing you can go tortoise or hare. I love the tortoise or hare on this. And you just go, making sure that your 2 fleece pieces are in the middle of the zigzag. Just push it gently together.
So you can see that needle going either side.
There you go.
Perfect.
Right to the end. Take off, don't bother about back stitching because it doesn't matter.
Well, it's going to be quilted in, isn't it?
There you are. And let's give it a press.
Perfect.
Also, the point to know, make sure you've got a thread the same colour as your fleece. If you've got a dark background, it doesn't matter. But if you've got a light background, make sure it's the same colour as that. And there you have perfectly joined.
Ta-da! It is perfect.
And then you can just, if you have loads of scraps, you can just build more, sort of just keep going if you want to, so you've actually got
There's nothing worse, is there, getting to this point and then realising that
actually
you don't have enough. So there we go. That's that problem solved.
Oh!
I like these little top tips. Thank you ever so much. You're going to be back in an hour.
I am back in an hour.
And we're going to be making one of the prettiest aprons. Absolutely, look at this.
I love that. And that rick-rack, I love that giant rick-rack.
Yeah, the colours in it, gorgeous.
Those pinks.
It's very, very pretty and very flattering too. So thank you ever so much for you are showing us how we can be a domestic goddess this morning. Look the part, design the part, beautiful, fabulous.
Thank you.
Right, let's see these fabrics then, shall we? The birds first. Here we go. So we've got 3 meters of fabric in each of these bundles. You've got 1/2 meter of your birds. There they are. There's a place in London near Chiswick, and about in the afternoon, all these parakeets fly in. It's ever so strange. They've obviously escaped from somewhere and bred, but just the sky will be filled with parakeets, and that's what that fabric always reminds me of. Then you've got your Riviera linear fabric there, and then you've got your baby blue spot on there. I love this crisp white, optical white there. You've got 1/2 meter of that. And then your blue sea, you are going to get 1 meter of that. So there's a lot of fabric going on here for £23.49. Which one are you going to choose? That's decisions, isn't it? Now, maybe you're going to choose the, and I've probably been saying this wrong all morning, so apologies if it's grating, chartreuse or chartreuse. How do you say it, Jess? She says chartreuse, as Jess says it. Basically, it's organic cotton from the hand-picked range with this one, which I think is really lovely. And then you've got 1/2 meter of this, brilliant. Then 1/2 meter of your heron grey, which is just one of those core fabrics, always a favourite. Oh, that was citrus, by the way. Did I say that's citrus there? And then you get your silver spot on, and then you get your glacier grey and 1 metre of that. So $24.49 for that. You do need to start checking out those baskets though, please, because otherwise you'll miss out, and that would be sad. I don't want anybody missing out. Now over here, oh, decisions. I love this one. This is the most popular one now, which is unusual actually when we haven't made it up in this colour. But here we go. This is your Alison glass. You get 1/2 metre of your lovely Alison glass. It's got a little sea creature in there. It's nice. You see, as soon as a tablecloth comes out, I know, I feel like I'm on holiday. And then 1/2 metre of your peachy. And then 1/2 metre of your stone on your spot on there. And then your ecru, 1/2 metre of your ecru. And then your biscuit, yeah, we could do a biscuit, it's not too early for a biscuit, is it now? Is 1 metre in there. So that's your whole bundle. Again, 3 metres of fabric in there. That's huge. Now, new buyers, the pattern basically gone now. If you've bought today and you're a new buyer and you're spending over £10 today, that doesn't include the P&P, that's £2.95 per day, by the way, then you'll get a gift. Hurrah! It's just a little, hey, welcome to Sewing Quarter, a little something from us to you. And it's an A4 cutting mat, and it's self-healing. So you don't get all the grooves and things. It makes it last a lot longer there. So that is for any new customer, which is wonderful. We always do that, you know, a little something. Now, after the break coming up, Victoria Peat is here, and she's got a brand new book for us. So, dog and cat lovers, the next hour is for you, because we've got 12 fantastic projects for all those dog and cat lovers, and fabric to go. We'll see you in a moment. Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
Hi, my name's Jo Carter, and these are my top 3 tips. My first tip would be, even if your sewing room is normally a real mess, and mine always is, try and take the time to organise your fabric, your stash, into colour order, because being able to see it and have it there, meaning you can pick out the colours and have them to hand and try fabrics together, really does help when you're quilting, and it means you use all of your fabric and things don't get lost and forgotten about. My second tip would be try and get to know your sewing machine. So spend an hour or an afternoon trying out buttonholes and various stitches, and just get to know what it can do, because then when you've tried them, you know you can bring things into projects and make life easier a lot of the time. And my third tip will be try and sew when there's somebody else around, so that they can keep you supplied with fresh cups of tea, so your sewing's not interrupted.
The Sewing Quarter website is simple and easy to use. You can view a live broadcast of the show on our homepage. Get instant access to our online shop, which has a wide range of wonderful products for you to choose from. You can also enjoy a selection of projects and guides which we have on offer to help you enhance your skills and gain valuable tips. Watch the live shows and you can buy the product which is currently being shown on air. You can even message the studio to ask our presenters or team any questions you might have. Below, you'll find all the products from today's show for you to look at and purchase. On the right of the screen, next to today's products, you will find our simple program guide listing all upcoming shows. So, join us today at sewingquarter.com. Spring into the weekend with a new softie by Jo Carter. The fabulous toy designer is joining us this Saturday at 9 AM sewing a sweet lamb toy. Our new kit includes enough fabric to make 2 little lambs with plain and textured fleece fabrics for the body and legs, plus spotty orange and green prints for the feet and ears. Add a spring to someone's step and create these little lambs as an Easter gift, or simply treat yourself. So join us at 9 AM on Saturday the 10th of February for an hour of fun with Jo and me, John. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678.
Hello, welcome back. Now, if you are a dog or a cat lover, then this is the hour for you. We've got a brand new book here by Chris Malone. She's an American designer. She's been sewing for years and years and years and years and years. Regularly puts in different designs for different magazines and whatnot. But here she has compiled 13 different designs, all sorts of shapes and sizes. And you know, maybe you're after a complete quilt, maybe you're after a dog bed. There is a dog modelling said dog bed. There's all sorts in there for you to get your hands on and get quilting. When I looked at reviews of this book, all 5-star. Absolutely, you're already putting it in your basket. If you know someone that loves cats or dogs, or maybe you are that person that loves cats or dogs, are you more of a dog person, are you more a cat person? It doesn't matter, because you're catered for in this book. Sometimes, you know, they say to us, well, you know, Tash, you love your dogs. Yes, but I also love my cats. 13 different projects in here. 7 of you have just put this in your basket. Now look, oh, there we go. So whether you're doing placemats for your cats, there are great instructions. So it's not just for your cats, this is for you as well. Then you've got all sorts of things that you can get going with in here. So for all different abilities as well. Is it the puppy love pillow that we're doing this morning? It is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah, there we go. There it is. That's what we're making this morning. Where's our version of it? Where is it? Oh, we've got a picture of it. There it is. You could even put a cushion pad in there, given that it's a pillow. Yes, we could do that. Yeah. We'll find some stuff in to put in there in a minute. Then, here it is. Look, let me show you We'll get a cushion in there, but I just wanted to show you it flat because it's so lovely. Look at him. Yeah. So we've got that. You're loving it. I knew you'd love this book. Really knew you'd love it. Now, another thing that I really love about, oh, look at that. Isn't that brilliant? It's the cat's whiskers. Then in the middle, you've got all of your different patterns that you need. And then through here, you've got all sorts of different designs, pot holders, quilts, dogs, cats, cool cat pillow. And then just at the back, which I just wanted to show you very, very quickly, is this little chap here. Chap. You don't get the dog, but there is, she's just put a note in that actually lots of people use up their scraps to make projects like this. And if you then donate them to your nearest dog or cat shelter, what they've noticed is that the animals that have beautiful beds like this tend to get adopted faster because people can envisage them in their home rather than sort of having scrappy beds. So just a little thing. I make a lot of beds for charity, so it's just a little note. Right, okay. Gosh, lots of fabric bundles. Where to start? Oh, there we go. I'm going to give that to Victoria. She's got a cushion. She's ready to cushion. So let's start with that one because we've already seen how lovely that is. Spot of Tilda in here, which is always a nice way to go. So here you've got your Tilda. There it is. Yeah, love those colourways. And then you're getting a 1/2 metre there. So that's a fat quarter of your Tilda there. 1/2 metre there of this is a lovely linen texture. But then you've got the stars on there. And then you get your glacier grey, 1/2 metre of that. And you get your Bonder web because there's a lot of appliqué in this book. Lots to play with in there. And your thread as well. All for £17.99. Fabulous. Now the next dog one. Now, I think this is Dashwood, actually, this one. It is, isn't it? Yeah, lovely Dashwood. So you're not getting a fat quarter with this one. This time you're getting a full 1/2 metre. So this is a 1.5 metre bundle. So with the Tilda, you get a fat quarter. With this one, you're getting a whole 1/2 metre. That makes sense in my world. A 1/2 metre of your stone in your spot on and a 1/2 metre of your biscuit. Still thinking about biscuits. I know, great. And your thread and your Bonder web, of course, in each of these bundles. And then we've got another Tilda bundle for you. So now this is your cat chow bundle. If you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, as, you know, maybe you could, then it allows you to make that. That's your cat chow, so they can chow down. And this is our version of it for you. It makes perfect sense in our world here. And for that one, you get a fat quarter of your tilde. You get a 1/2 metre of your lovely red linear. And then you also get a 1/2 metre of your linen look linen. Linen look linen. And then you get 2 different threads in here. So instead of getting bonded, we get an extra thread. So that's so that you can do your cat-chow bundle. Cat-chow. Cat-chow. Ooh, next bundle's a biggie. So maybe you're going to do some of these gorgeous ones up here. So you could do one of these great big quilts. We will take a good look through this book because you're going crazy for the book. You see, maybe you want to do one of these real bright, colourful, cheerful ones. That'll cheer you up. Then there's got 4 metres in here. 1/2 metre of each of these. So you've got a lovely grey in there, again with this linen texture, which we always go crazy for. We stock this now as a core because we use it so often. Then you've got your silver spot on. You've got your lovely blue spot on, your apple green. You've got your raspberry in there. You've got your red. You've got your papaya, I think that one is. And then you've got your lemon yellow, or do they call it sunshine yellow? I can never remember which way around they call it. But basically, you've got a rainbow of colour in there, which is absolutely beautiful. Ooh, I always want to arrange that actually in the rainbow. I'm going to take this with me. I know that you've got yours, but then, you know. Oh, you've stuffed it.
I have stuffed it.
Yay, Victoria, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
We were saying this morning, you look like Miss Mustard.
Miss Mustard.
In the sitting room with a candlestick.
Or with a pair of sewing scissors.
Or sewing scissors, yeah.
Sounds
See, I didn't
violent,
think of
doesn't
that
it?
with Cluedo, did they? Now here it is. Fabulous for any animal lover.
Yeah, it is a really nice thing to make if you love animals.
Long-haired Vizsla you've got, haven't you?
Short-haired
Short-haired
Vizsla.
leaf Vizsla.
Yeah, I like the wire-haired ones because they look
Yeah,
like they've got a beard and a...
Yeah, lady beards.
No, we've got short-haired. She likes to shed, though.
Oh, they do, the short hairs.
Short hairs everywhere.
But look, you can make this, and it's just so much fun. I see. I was thinking great for kids. No, great for adults as well. Anybody that has animals in their life is just going to love it.
And it's a really nice skills builder project.
Oh, okay.
Because you're doing a bit of standard sewing, you're doing a bit of applique, you're doing a bit of hand stitching, and you're just doing a few new techniques.
What level do I need to be?
Confident beginner.
Oh, okay.
It's
cool.
not too difficult, but it's just got lots of small skills that you can use.
So you can make it with your grandkids, and you know, with a bit of guidance, they can achieve something fun like this.
Yeah, there's a few tricky bits. So if you're sewing with children, things like the ears and the feet are a little bit more tricky with the curves. But it's a nice project to involve them in.
Yeah, there's your ear.
Flappy ears.
Oh, it's brilliant. And he's got a glittering nose. Glittery button nose.
I know. Adele chose the buttons.
Oh.
Well chosen.
Do you know what, actually? We talk about skill builders, but some kids don't even know how to sew on a button.
No. Some adults don't know how to sew on buttons.
So some people don't know how. Yeah, producer Paul's just piped up. I don't.
Oh, well, there you go. Guess what we're doing after the show?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Paul.
Button workshop for producer Paul. So, you know, things like that. It's a skill that is sometimes assumed, but I know that a lot of people just have that top that's thrown in the bottom of the wash basket.
Yes.
Because there's a button missing in a really vital place.
I have those as well.
You know, you're not allowed.
I've got loads of repair work that I don't do.
It's because you're busy doing stuff for
I
us.
know.
Now, where do we start with this?
Right, there's lots of different things. Let's start with, well, first of all, should we have a look at the instructions? Because it's good to have a look at the instructions just to see that it's nice and clear and you're not going to be left on your own, floundering.
So what I'm folding out is this, and this is perforated in the middle of your book. And that has got all your pattern pieces in there.
Yes, and they're all the right size, so there's no scaling required. I'll turn it the right way around.
Oh, sorry, I was doing it. So
It's for us.
Forget about everybody else. It's all mine. It's all mine.
So for this pattern, for the Puppy Love pillow, we need the heart.
And that's the right size?
Yes, they're all the right size.
Oh, brilliant.
Because I always get really frustrated when you have to scale things up and down, because I've got an all-in-one printer at home that does photocopying, but trying to get it in and under the lid, it's complicated. So we need the heart, a paw, an ear, a face and a tail.
It's brilliant.
From here. So that's all we need from this to do that.
And here are the instructions here. Half the stock of the book's already gone.
Oh, good grief.
Loving it. Is that checked out?
Don't
gone,
buy
or
it
just
all.
in baskets? Oh, checked out and gone. Loads of you got it in your basket as well. So I'm really pleased because when I saw this the other day, and I have been putting hints on Facebook about it, saying if you love your dogs and cats, you might want to watch. But here it is. Okay, step-by-step instructions. Hang on, that's number 3, which means I've missed a page. Here we go.
That one's not as exciting though, is it?
No,
that
that's
one's
got
better. Because that shows nicely that this has got nice colour illustrations, nice simple steps, not too much information in each step, because sometimes I find if book designers put too much information in each step, you almost don't read the second half. Do you ever do that? You read the beginning half of a step and then miss a bit and then go, oh, when did that happen?
Yeah.
So it's nice and clear.
It's like you've met me before. And just little things like this. And these are little areas that might just trip you up. Chris Malone, the author, she knows, she understands about where people will trip up on things. So this is about, you want the ears to go out. So when you sew them together, they have to be placed inwards. No, he's not playing hide and seek, Director Tim. But I quite like the idea that he could. Yeah. Of course, how you place ears is entirely up to you.
Yes, you can put them at a slightly more jaunty angle.
Jaunty ears, you can have one up like
Yeah,
that.
well, dogs like sometimes have one ear floppy and one ear.
Eric has naughty ears, my Great Dane. When he's thinking naughty thoughts, his ear shape changes.
Oh yes, mine
completely.
too. Because you've got the ears.
Mine too.
Not mine. You can tell because my left ear. No,
it's behaving itself today. But he does, and we do talk about Eric's naughty ears quite a lot. And you just know. So yeah, maybe you want to put your ears at a naughty angle.
Naughty angle.
And he's always up to no good. Generally with somebody's soft toy. Or underwear is his other favourite thing to parade through the house with.
Oh, socks and shoes.
Yeah.
Our dog likes to greet you at the door with a pair of shoes.
Nice.
Dirty walking boot the other day.
Nice.
And then she leaves them. She doesn't put them back nicely with the other one. She leaves them in the garden, upstairs, bathroom, and you end up searching.
Yes.
Okay, so what we have is this cushion is easy in the fact that there's no zip to put in. So if you're worried about zips, don't worry. It's got an envelope back.
For years I've avoided any project that has had zips in.
Avoid the zip, avoid the zip. So if you are a zip avoider, then this is a great cushion to make. You have the front piece and then the back is made up of 2 pieces that are hemmed and overlapped.
And the nice thing is, because when I first started making cushions, and I didn't actually find any pattern or anything. I just had to work out what the ideal ratio for the overlap was.
And this has got a nice big overlap. Because if you do too little, as soon as you put the cushion in, this bursts open.
It's like when your top's not quite long enough and you get a bit of flesh between your jeans and your top.
When pattern designers don't put enough bust suppression in bust suppression. So it's where they have the bust darts and they don't put enough in and you get gaping in shirts.
Oh, is that why I gape?
Yeah, it's not just because you're
buxom.
the wrong size.
Oh, okay.
It is, that's where you do full bust adjustments in patterns, but quite often you'll find on store-bought clothes you'll get the gaping because the suppression's
So I don't wear shirts.
Yeah.
They never fit me right.
Anyway, so you've got the front, and on the front, I think the first stage is to applique the hearts in place. So if you take your pattern and you trace off the hearts, and that's where we've used some Bonder web, and you, with your Bonder web...
You get a lot, it's like 1.2 metres long.
Yeah, a big long strip, and I think I've used this one. I can't remember whether this was a new packet.
Yeah, no, it's looking like someone's had a...
I don't know.
Anyway.
So you take your pattern, your Bonder web, and you trace over the pattern.
Onto which side of the Bonder web?
So you've got 2 sides on the Bonder web. Bonder web is essentially a double-sided fusible web.
Okay.
But they've applied paper on one side.
Okay.
So you always draw on the paper side because you can't draw on the other side.
So you use it like
side.
tracing paper.
Yeah, a bit like tracing paper. So just draw it, trace it over. And if you have a shape that is not symmetrical, then you need to make sure that either you reverse the pattern or you check whether the designer has reversed the pattern for you.
Right.
Because you apply the Bonder web shape, once it's cut out, onto the reverse of your fabric. So if you're doing a letter or something like that, you need to make sure that either you reverse or it has been reversed for you.
I don't know if you noticed on our beautiful quilt where everyone in the office had done a block.
I might have noticed.
There's, and I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody... Someone did a beautiful SQ for sewing quarter, obviously.
Yep.
But didn't do that. So the Q is actually round the wrong way. And so many people didn't notice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, I don't think the
brain is a funny thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a she. Okay, that's narrowed it down.
Not really. It's only producer Paul and John that made. There were boys that made ones.
Did Neil not make one as well?
No, I stand corrected. Yeah, Neil did one as well. His was the Union Jack one.
Right. Okay, we're narrowing it down.
Yeah.
I'll get to the bottom of it. Don't worry.
No, Jay did one as well. Sorry, no, I completely forgot Jay did one as well.
I'll get.
He did one with a J on, which gave it away. Anyway,
nothing like being self-centered, Jane. Right. So what you need to do is you cut that out, but only cut it out roughly. Don't cut out on the pencil lines that you've drawn. Right. Because you'll see in a minute. Have we got the iron? Is the iron on today?
Do you know the iron is always on? We've changed the plugs. It's very exciting. Yeah.
So we'll just press that in place. You iron it onto the reverse of your fabric.
Right.
So we will just find a spot. And this is quite sweet, this one, because you've got your little dogs, and he's got little rain clouds and little yellow trees, little yellow flowers. It's a really sweet print.
So are you going to fussy?
This one, the heart doesn't quite fit in the dog and the cloud, so we'll just do a dog.
Okay, but you can see through the fabric.
Yes, you can just see through enough to place that.
Here's the kit. This is what you're getting in the kit. So you're getting 1.5 meters of fabric there. So you're getting 0.5 meter of each of those fabrics there. It's a nice neutral bundle. If you're making for somebody else and you're not quite sure their colour taste, I always think go neutral. $19.49, and your Bondo webs in there and your thread. I like that because you might get cracking otherwise and then realise you don't quite have enough Bondo web.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And trying to patch bits of Bondo web together.
Oh,
It's such a I've done that before.
Yeah. There you go.
So once you've placed that on, the best thing to do really is to wait for that to cool. When you're dealing with any form of interfacing or Bondo web, I always think it's best to let it cool and let the glue reset.
Okay, right, yeah.
If that makes sense. But
it's like cutting a cake, isn't it, before the icing set?
Oh, Andrew, poor Andrew, my husband. He does baking with the girls because they like to bake cakes and whatever. But he was really impatient one day and iced it before the cake had cooled.
Oh,
and
dear.
It was on the side of the work counter, and all of a sudden the top layer of the cake just went and slid onto the floor.
He will learn.
You learn by your mistakes. So I've just roughly cut that out because that's easier to deal with. So now this is at the point at which you cut on the line. It just gives you a greater amount of accuracy.
You don't have to be, that's what I was going to say. You don't have to be quite so accurate otherwise. So just cut round now.
Now cut along that line that you've drawn.
Now, okay, the great scissor debate. Because there is a small, obviously, piece of paper in here.
It is very thin. It is like a bit heavier than a tracing paper.
So do I use my normal scissors or do I go with my second best pair of scissors?
That's what I do. I was just about to say, I go for my second best pair of scissors.
That aren't quite as sharp as they should be. So, I don't.
But they're sharp enough to go through fabric. Because if you use your paper scissors, I always find they're not quite sharp enough to go through the fabric as well.
My husband will never understand why I need so many pairs of scissors. And that's fine. I'm comfortable with that as long as he doesn't try and borrow any.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. He's relegated to kitchen scissors only.
Kitchen scissors only. So that there gives you your shape all cut out. So I've cut that on the line and it just makes it nice and sharp.
It's a very sweet pattern actually, this one.
It is. He's a really sweet little dog. Okay. So at this point, you would then arrange your hearts on, let me do ones that are totally set. Here you go, you can do some as well.
Now, when I can't do these, I just get a pin, scratch the back, and then they come off.
Yeah, give them a bit of a wiggle.
And if you are pulling them off and the Bondo web is staying on, just go back to your iron.
Yeah.
Just pop it back on again, because it just means it just didn't quite leave it on.
And you can hardly see it, but you do know it's there. So I've done those two. You've done that one.
Any more?
Go on, yep, do that one as well. Ta-da. And that's so much easier with Bondo web that's set than stuff that isn't.
Yeah, you can see it's almost very, very slightly sparkly.
I've got a layer.
So is it your choice where you put the hearts now?
The book gives you a suggestion.
Right.
You don't want to put it in this top corner because that's where you've got the head. So you want to avoid this section here.
Okay.
So let's just have a look at this one and we'll do it vaguely similar. Let's try and do it. And you also don't want to go too close to the edge because you have to remember that it's going to be sewn, there's a seam allowance on the outside for when you make up the cushion. So don't go right up to the edge.
So head is going
in that top corner.
Head is going over here. We've got it all sort of back to front. Head is there.
Let's turn it around this way so that we can see them both in the same side.
Head will be up there. There.
So head will come here, your tail would come out of here, and your two legs
are going to go
paws
there.
Here. So you need to leave this bit empty.
Enough for your seam allowance.
On the outside.
Down there. Excellent.
Okay, so we'll press those in place. Don't sneeze or open any doors.
Turn the aircon off quick.
So they all waft. So what we're going to do is we're going to applique those in place. So I have my trusty stitch reference guide.
You're so good at having this.
So I've got, for anyone who hasn't seen, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen because I whip it out every time I do some applique, is I've got my stitch reference card where I've taken a number of the stitches that are available. This is the Elna 540 that we're using today. So I've written the name of the stitch and the stitch number, and I've just sewn that stitch in a variety of different ways. So I've tried different widths and different lengths for each stitch just to have a look.
Always say when you get a new machine, have a play, get to know your stitches, get to know the effects that you can do, and it's still something I haven't quite done.
Yeah, there's a lot more to your machine than you sometimes realise, because quite often you'll just do a straight stitch.
But
and you think, oh, well, I don't need
person
fancy stitches.
That is organised, that I aspire to be like.
Well, it just, for me, it saves time every time I come to do applique, because I don't have to go, which stitch did I use and what settings were those? Makes it really difficult. So for this, you can do whatever stitch you like. You can do a raw edge applique or a button stitch, like a buttonhole stitch or a satin stitch. Totally up to you how you want to do it.
I discovered that I've got a faux blanket stitch on mine.
Yeah, and you know what? Having done this for my own machine, I didn't realise I had a blanket stitch either. Yes. It was right down at the very bottom.
Hiding.
It was hiding, and I suddenly went, look at that, amazing.
But you see, if you'd done one of these for your own machine...
Well, no, that's what I mean. I had done.
Oh, you had?
But it was right at the very bottom, because mine's got an electronic thing. It was right at the very bottom, and I've missed it.
Oh, no.
So today, I'm going to choose my favoured stitch, which is the blind hem stitch. Okay. Which is traditionally for hemming. Yes. But let's use it for...
Do you know what? I think we really need to do a show where we do some sort of blind hem, because...
we talk about blind hem, but never use it.
I've never done it, and I can't quite understand the folding.
It is really complicated.
Wendy and Adele, if you're scheduling, which they probably are frantically in the office as we speak, could we do something with a blind hem? Because that would really help me.
And it is...
On a real selfish note.
It really... It taxes the brain, the way that you do it. And when I teach people at home how to sew or at workshops, I more often than not send someone away with a part-made sample. So that they can take it away and they can look back at it and how you fold it, because it's just
So we're going to use the dreaded blind hem stitch and make it pretty.
Yes, you're going to just use it. It has other functions,
but today it's going to be decorative only.
Oh,
and that's fine.
Done that, I didn't actually change the length.
Oh, okay.
Let's change the length on that.
So making it longer. Oh, yeah, look, you see, you've got all of your different...
Yeah, I know. Silly me. Yep, that's fine. I suddenly realised that was going far too long. And then when you're doing applique on curves, and I'm going to lean into the machine, just take your time and stop with the needle down, lift and turn. And if your machine, this one doesn't have a knee lifter, if your machine comes with a knee lifter, consider using it. A lot of people have a machine with a knee lifter and think, oh, well, I don't need that.
When would I ever use it? Now.
Exactly.
Why would I use it?
Because this way, you're just moving your knee to lift the presser foot.
Oh, that's clever.
So your hands can stay at this point. See, I've taken my hand off here to come at the back and to turn the fabric. Whereas I could have just done that with my knee. It makes the process a lot quicker and a lot easier to do.
That's very clever, actually. And then you're going to end up looking like one of those buskers that has like a harmonica and an accordion and this, that, and the other, and they're drumming away. It's that sort of talent, isn't it? Now, the book is incredibly limited now. So if you would like to grab this, please do get it now. It's just a nice bit of fun, isn't it? Sometimes I think, we take it all a bit too seriously.
Yes, and sometimes, and there's some nice small projects in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do just need a small project as a gift or as a time filler, because I think for me, when I've done a really big project, I almost need to step back and take a bit of a rest. But I still want to sew, but the thought of taking on another really big project is too much. So I like to have small projects lined up to do.
Tula Pink said yesterday, she said, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
You know, so something a little bit different, fun, that's going to bring a smile to your face in pretty colours. I love that one. With the head-to-toe pot holder set.
Oh.
So all the templates, full size as well, are in there. That's hilarious. But you do have to check out. I like the cool cat pillow, because you could do that in a whole rainbow. And it sort of looks like the cat's got bunting on.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cheery cat.
There it is. So happy cats. Happy cats, happy campers. And something for the dog lovers, something for the cat lovers. It's all in there. There's also like a memory wall quilt as well.
Oh, I missed that one.
Hang on, let me just find it for you in here. And this, having recently lost a dog, it did make me nearly cry. But it's where she's done...
Andrew managed to make himself cry the other day thinking about when our dog might die. Like, well, she's not dead yet. Don't worry about it. She's fine.
You see here, you can do your sort of your wall quilt, and then add your dog tag in.
Oh,
I know.
Sweet.
I know. Isn't that lovely?
Our dog's got 2 dog tags.
Well, you could do 2 quilts.
We actually, the dog breeder that we got ours from, they tattoo the ears.
Oh, okay.
For slightly rarer breeds of dog, when theft is an issue, they tattoo the inside of their ears with a serial number. So we have an extra tag that says, phone this number if you find this dog, and read out the reference number. So there you go. Very strange. So that's appliqued on. So you would repeat that for the other hearts.
See, a useful way of using a blind hem stitch, because quite frankly, I've never blind hemmed in.
And it creates a different effect. So if you look at the different types of stitches, some are more obvious than others.
Yes.
So it depends on the look that you're trying to go for. So if you want something really bold, you go for a satin stitch. If you want something really quick, go for a raw edge. And then there are others in between.
But you see, also, it depends what thread you decide to use with it. All of those things come into it. Do you want to make a feature at it? Do you not?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's what you would do for those hearts.
Okay.
So
would you post those threads through to the other side?
Yes, with a needle, I'd go through to the other side, attach it to the, so that's the needle thread. I'd thread it through to the other side, and then I would tie a knot and then trim them. But you don't need to trim too close because it's a cushion, and you put a bit of wadding on the other side.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, so that's those.
Before we move on, I'm going to go look at the bundles.
Bye.
Because if you bought the book, you're going to need a bundle.
Yes, you are.
Quite frankly. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, bye.
Hold fire. Hold your fire there. Right, okay. Oh, hello. Got extra ones. Now, let's do the different bundles first. Which one do you want to start off with? That's got grey and that's got grey. And this one, the Tilda grey. So this is the one that Victoria made her one out of. So you've got a fat quarter of Tilda in there. That's for your hearts, all your details. You've got your thread. You've got 1/2 metre there of your lovely stars. It's really nice, isn't it? And then 1/2 metre of your glacier grey, plus your Bondo web. Everything that you need there, £17.99. Should we have a look at the one that we're working with as we speak? Which, now this is different. Instead of a fat quarter, you've got the whole 1/2 metre. The whole 1/2 metre, you know what I mean. And that's in your Dashwood Dogs. So you're getting 1.5 metres. This is the most popular one at the moment with your Dashwood Dogs. And then you're getting your spot on, and you're also getting your biscuit. So nice neutrals there. And then you get your thread and your Bondo web as well. Now, if you want to do the cat chow, which is, sounds weird, it's in the book. Okay, and we've put a bundle together that is as close as we can get to cat chow. And so if you saw that one and thought, yes, then this is the bundle for you. So you've got your linen, 1/2 metre of your linen look linen. You've got 1/2 metre, look at that, in your linear. 2 different threads, and then you get the lovely green Tilda fabric there. Nice, £23.49. Now, if you want all the colours, so you know those big quilts with the dogs and the cats, and it's all very colourful and bright and fabulous, why not grab this? Now, this is 1/2 metre of each of those, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 metres of fabric, It's a big one. So if you want all of those, it's a veritable rainbow of gorgeousness. That's $39.49 for 4 meters, and that's for your cool cat spotted rainbow. It doesn't have to be cat, it can be dog. I feel that's doggist. Now we've got some Quilts As You Go. So I don't know if you remember a little while ago. Now, I mean, this is for the elite cats. A cave cat mat. This is your Quilt As You Go cave cat mat. It's a very posh cat, isn't it? Dining off a spot of cave facet fabric. But if you want your cat to be the envy of all the neighbourhood, then here's how you do so. So 2.5 meters of fabric in this bundle. You've got 0.5 meter there of your cave, and then a beautiful array of colours that work beautifully with it, plus your Quilt As You Go, plus your thread, all of those for $37.99. You don't need anywhere near that amount of fabric. It's just so that you get the different colours to play with, because look, there's a lot of colour going on in there, which means you've got loads left over. So then if you've got the book, you can make other things to match, which is fab. Now, if you would like to see, which one next? Oh, the tilde one next. Okay, so a different take on this would be with your tilde. So then you've got your thread, you've got 0.5 meter of your tilde. Actually, look, and then you've got another 0.5 meter. That's your botanical tilde, which is rather beautiful. And then you've got that lovely orange there, and your maroon, and that one there. Look at that. Spray time. And then you've got, of course, your cat placemat. So like I say, look, you're getting an awful lot of fabric in those, far, far more than you need for the actual placemat. But that's so you can do all sorts of accessories and what have you. It's just because you need lots of different colours. Now, if you want just the placemat, maybe you've bought some of the other bundles this morning. Actually, I'm gonna make that from that. Then that's $10.99 for the Quilt As You Go pet placemat for cats. Producer Paul has a bone to pick with me, and here it is. Yeah, they're the jokes. They're the jokes that I get in my ear. Yeah. Here we go. We've got a kit. If you want to make it exactly like that, and I know that often that's the way you go. You want exactly like that. Then again, a whopping 2.5 meters. Now look at the size of that. That is not going to use up 2.5 meters. You are going to have lots left over. So you could do all sorts of cushions and projects out of the book with your leftover fabric. So 0.5 meter, 0.5 meter, 0.5 meter, 0.5 meter, and you've guessed it, 0.5 meter, and your thread, and your Quilt As You Go. Yay! Now one more bundle. Oh, I love this one. I don't think that we've ever sold this dog fabric separately, and I think that we should, but I just love it. Look at this. So this gives you 0.5 meter of the lovely dog fabric. They're brilliant. And your Riviera blue and spot on, more linear, more bright colours. And there we go, $32.99. Whew. If you want the bone by itself, then again, $10.99, Quilt As You Go. If you just want that, then you are good to go. Ta-da! Quilt As You Go placemat. $10.99, VUEQ 82. Right, Victoria.
Yes, welcome back.
Where are we at now?
Right, we are moving on to creating the face, the ears, the paws, the legs. So I have...
It's quite satisfying. Plastic. Wobbly plastic.
Wobbly plastic.
What do I need wobbly plastic for?
For tracing out the templates. So for the tail, ear and paw, not the face, but the tail, ear and paw, you need to trace off and create a template. So
oh, well, that's not the shape that we...
No, sorry, that's the bit that I've chopped off.
Oh, this is the cutout. Okay, right. Yeah.
I use this part for preparation, and this part, pretend it's like an A4 size sheet.
It is.
There's behind you. I found some behind you.
Behind you. There it is.
You get a few sheets in there, I think.
Use these to make all sorts of different templates, but here it's so that you can do your paw, tail, and what else?
Paw, tail, ear.
Paw, tail, ear. $2.99. FZGQ75. You might already have that in your stash, but if you haven't, pop it in your stash.
They're useful for all sorts of things. She uses them a lot in this book.
Okay.
So it's...
Well, then you don't have to cut up this, do you? Because I wouldn't want to be cutting into this.
No, you don't, or don't always want to. And actually, it's better to have a template for what we're about to do than just to have a paper. It's more accurate. So what you do is you would just trace this off.
We've got 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're not going to make much of a cushion in 20 minutes, are we? Going too slow. So trace that off, and then I've actually then gone over with that with a permanent marker pen, and I've cut those out.
Well, then you can keep it, can't you? Because you're going to
them.
want to make more than one of these, surely.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're nice. Good gifts.
For all the friends.
All the friends. So we don't need that anymore.
I'm just going to hold this and show. I just need to show everyone. She's not letting go. She's like a dog with a bone.
So I've just transferred what the name of each of the pieces are. Because otherwise you can forget. Oh no, I didn't put the name on. This one.
Tail, ear.
And slash.
Paw.
That's an instruction for
Slash.
later. Slash. That's an instruction for later.
Yes.
So you take these and then you make almost like a little quilt sandwich, but not quite. You take your 2 layers of fabric that you're going to use and a layer of wadding on the underside.
If I was using a patterned fabric, which is my right and which is my wrong side?
Inside here.
So right sides together there, and then wadding on the base.
Wadding on the base. And now I've just taken these templates and I've placed them on the fabric, and I've gone around with a fabric marking pen.
Okay.
To trace those.
Yes.
And put them in place. So what I'll do now, and I've just done them all together because it was, for me, it was more economical with the fabric.
Yeah.
And time to do them all on one thing. It doesn't suggest to do that in the pattern, but always read through a pattern first because everyone's different. The way that you sew, everybody's got different ways of doing things and different ways of explaining things. But I read ahead and I thought, well, actually, that's the same process a couple of times, so we'll do it all in one go. So I'll just go through with the ear, and the ear says to leave it open on one edge.
And you do one ear one way, one ear the other, or does it really not matter?
If you're not using... Oh no, it doesn't really matter because. Oh no, actually, I would flip and do one ear one way and one ear the other. Because the wadding is closer to one side of the fabric than the other. And
if you're going to be really pernickety.
Yeah, and you're right. It is a proper pernickety thing to do, but that's what made sense to me. So we'll just go around the ear.
Yeah.
Just take your time going round.
Now this is the way. If you've ever made any of the Tilda toys, this is how you would do your Tilda toys. You draw your templates onto and then sew around.
And then trim.
And then, and then you can decide what seam allowance.
And it just gives you a little bit more room when going round curves and sewing intricate shapes.
Yes, fiddly, isn't it, somehow?
You're not, and also when you're doing something small and you're trying to sew with a small seam allowance, if you've not got much fabric underneath your presser foot, it doesn't quite catch. And when you're doing curves, things can move and stretch. So actually, it's a really good way.
My first Tilda monkey, I didn't read the instructions properly, and I cut everything out with a seam allowance and then sewed it. And you're right, that is the one that if anyone's paw is going to burst open, it's that one.
Yeah, it means it's really tight. So I'm just going slow around this edge. Trying to pivot. And this foot is probably not the right foot that I chose because I can't quite see where I'm going. When I'm sewing smaller shapes, I quite often use my walking foot because it's got an open foot. So you can see directly where your line of sight is.
And you are basically quilting because you're going through 3 layers of fabric, which in my book means you're quilting.
Yes, without even realising.
Yes.
I was watching that
discreet quilting.
That programme that you were talking about on air the other day, the Stitching Time. Have you seen the one where they were making that? I can't remember the name of it, that they wear over their armour.
Oh, from the Black Princes. Yes.
That was amazing. They were doing a lot of quilting on that, actually.
Yeah. It's a lovely programme. When obviously
you're only allowed to watch after midday.
Yeah, after we've finished on air and you've watched all 4 hours of us, then do take a look. It's on BBC iPlayer. It's called A Stitch in Time, and they basically look at different pieces of art throughout history, and they try and recreate using all of the different techniques of the time. And recreate. And actually, on that armour, on the one with the, was it
I can't think of the name of it.
What's it called? I've completely forgotten. The hand embroidery took 900
hours. I couldn't believe it.
They just slipped that in. So yeah, we're making such and such, but
the hand embroiderers. We have some hand embroiderers that we've worked with in the past, and I thought, oh, that's nice. And then they said 900 hours.
900
thought, oh, my word.
This isn't going to take 900 hours.
No, it really doesn't. No. You're right. I think I did it in about 3.5. What did I take? Yeah, about 3.5 hours.
15 minutes left, so there we go.
Right, so what I like to do is, again, it doesn't suggest it in the pattern, but I quite like to cut out, using pinking shears.
Oh no, me too.
Because that reduces the seam allowance, but also stops you having to clip curves.
And also means that it's going to cut down on any fraying.
Yep.
Which is fabulous.
Pinking shears
Alison
all the way.
in Dumbartonshire. Is that a shear? Is that a...
Yes, Scotland.
Oh, yes. I don't know very much about Scotland. I've got the book, but before I get it... Oh, right. Oh, so as in you've just bought it. Okay.
Fine.
What size is the cushion pad required? I am now thinking of putting a rabbit head and a panda head instead of... And then she got cut off.
Instead of a dog.
Instead of, yeah, a dog, obviously.
Oh, well, that would be really nice. You could do nice,
then,
long,
thin
ears.
Easter. Christmas, Easter.
The Christmas rabbit.
What size is it?
12 inches.
Oh, there you go, 12 inches. Yeah, 12 inches. She's not wrong.
So, I've left out that end.
Oh, this is the fiddly bit.
Yeah. And I'm just going to pull that through. Ooh.
This is where it's important, isn't it? That you went forward and back a bit on those beginning and
Where
end
I didn't.
stitches.
There, you mean?
Oh, did you not?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, no, because I always give this a good old tug
Yes,
and then
you
it frays a
would.
little bit.
Yeah, that would be better. I'll pull that through.
I didn't realise it. Sorry.
No, I hadn't done it. No, it's busy unravelling before my eyes, and I hadn't gone backwards and forwards.
I mean, that's what happens to me. But you see, because you've pinking sheared, look, you see that's going to make a lovely curve.
Yeah, that's quite
Do you
nice.
need the iron?
Yes, we'll give it a press. And you'll probably not be able to see this on screen, but this is where you'll see that one half feels slightly different to the other, because this half of the fabric doesn't have the wadding
right
directly next to it, whereas this side does. So I would have the side with the wadding nearest it as the front.
And is that just personal preference?
I think that it makes a nicer look, because next what you do is you go through and you top stitch around the edges.
Oh, nice.
So I think that gives it a nicer finish.
It'll give it a little plush look.
Yeah, I think so.
Fab. I like these.
They're nice, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because also, you know, if you're personalising it, if you've got a dog with a patch over an eye, who I would hope was probably called Patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you could add that in. It's got room for personalisation.
Yeah, and you could use
it?
different size eyes. And actually, I meant to take some pictures, because where you put the buttons changes the character of the face. So you could put them really close together, put them further apart, put one slightly higher than the other. It just changes the character.
And if you're like Alison and you're going to make it into a rabbit, which is just a swift ear change, really, then you can add whiskers on.
Yeah, and change the shape of the embroidery on the face.
Do you know, actually, you wouldn't have to do a lot to change that into a rabbit. Just add maybe some teeth and some whiskers. Felt teeth.
Yeah, 2 big felt teeth.
Oh, happy Easter.
Yeah, that'd be
I've
nice.
had my first Easter egg. Is that wrong?
Yes.
Oh.
But I was thinking about them the other day.
Can't help it. Got 10 minutes.
Okay, so here you would repeat the same thing for the other ear and the tail.
Right.
And the 2 paws. And then you would effectively, let's just on here, I've got, and we'll do half a head, because we probably don't have time to do the other one. So we're going to, on the head, you essentially create it in a similar way.
Right.
Just going to mark those.
So again, as with any pattern, if there are marks on the pattern, transfer them across.
Yes, I've just moved across the positioning for the ears. And the ears will be on the product, and I've left a bigger seam allowance here. They'll come out of the head in this direction.
Okay.
So actually what you want to do is you want to base them in place in the opposite way.
This was the bit that it actually showed you. She even has a picture of this. This is where director Tim went, oh, he's just shy, or playing hide and seek. No, no, this is so that when you actually turn it through, the ears will be in the right direction.
In the right place. But what you've got to remember is just to make sure that your seam allowances either match with the edge of the head or extend slightly further. I've cut mine slightly bigger. So I'm just going to base that in place.
But you see, wouldn't this be fun to make this into a backpack?
Oh, that would be sweet.
I think that's lovely. Oh, now buttons. We've had people ask about buttons.
Would you like to have my buttons?
Yeah, because I haven't got them here. Here we go.
These are my 2 buttons.
Now, if you would like a sparkly nose in your life, then you need a sparkly button, quite frankly. You're getting 5, but obviously one of them is sewn on our... I keep thinking it's a rabbit now. There they are. There he is, £1.99 for your glittery buttons. Hey, if you want the black-eyed peas,
Black-eyed peas.
then again you get 6 here, 8 rather. Oh yeah, no, it's all right because he's got 2 eyes, isn't he? That's why.
And I've used one for a different project.
Oh, well, there you go. So if you will get a full set of 8, but that's just to give you an idea of the size, and that's £1.99. Lovely. So if you're asking about buttons, ask no more.
There you go. Buttons.
All done.
So when you come to sew this together, we're going to sew it in the similar way to the way that I've just shown you there with the ear. I'm busy looking for the ear and it's here.
It's already
It's already there.
Oh no, you're going to pin it out the way.
So then I'm going to pin it out the way. And when you've got 2, actually what I did when I made the sample is I just used a sewing clip.
Oh, okay,
in
that
the middle.
works.
So whatever works.
Because you don't want to be sewing this in the wrong place and then having to unstitch.
No.
And, you know, I've done that.
Oh.
I should basically just do a show called Don't Do As I Do.
When sewing goes wrong.
Yeah.
You know what? I think they need to do that for cooking, certainly. Because I'm all right with cooking until it goes wrong. Or baking, and then you go, I don't know how to fix it.
No. But because all of these mistakes I've made, because a lot of the time, my grandmother taught me until I was 15.
Yep.
And then she passed away.
Aww.
So then I had years of just trying to work it out for myself.
Figuring it out.
Back in the day before the internet, when YouTube was a thing.
I know. I remember teaching myself to crochet. And then one day just going, why didn't I look online? And then I looked online and there was
a lot of resource. I never really thought. Do you remember when the internet was first a thing and you'd have that dial-up tone all the time?
I remember sitting at university and we had the internet and I remember sitting there going, I don't know what to look up.
Yeah.
And no one really had websites.
No.
And I just couldn't, I just remember sitting in the library just going, I don't get it.
Hasn't it?
Why?
What's going on?
And now the world is at your fingertips.
And then my dad would, you know, my dad would be like, actually, I need to use the phone. So you've got to come off. You've got to come off the internet. Right, so we're pinning all the way around the head.
So we'll pin all the way around and we'll sew all the way around other than leaving a gap at the bottom for turning.
But what you've put the headpiece on top so that ear is sandwiched inside.
Inside.
Okay.
So, and we're only going to have a dog with one ear. Poor little dog.
Well, he looks like he's having a spot of acupuncture.
Oh dear. I've
Doesn't
never
he?
had that.
Oh, it's amazing.
You like it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm not good with needles. I'm better than I used to be. I think
don't look.
when I'd had children, I think then you lose all fears of everything then, don't you? Get poked and prodded. Right, what I'm doing here is I'm just
we're
need
sewing
something.
in a funny direction.
Yeah, we're
What's
sewing in
going
a funny
on?
direction. If I show you on this pattern piece, what
yeah.
I'm doing is on the pattern piece here, it's got where you would stitch. So this is where I'm going to stitch. But what I'm doing is I'm starting from this point here, and I'm actually
your edge
sewing.
of your seam allowance.
Yes, I'm sewing from the raw edge, and I'm actually going from the raw edge up to where I'm stitching. So I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to turn a right angle and come round, and then I'm going to come round at the other end. I'm going to stop where my pin is, and then I'm going to sew back out to the other edge.
Why, Victoria Peat? Why?
So that when you turn it through to the right side, you'll then have this hem that needs folding in. And somehow by having this set of stitching here, it makes it easier to turn that raw edge in.
Top tip.
Magic.
Top tip.
Trickery.
See, you know these things, and we need to know these things.
I will share with you these things.
Yeah, 6-minute warning. Says
6-minute warning. So we'll just whiz round. You do the same thing for the legs that we've done with all the other body parts. You sew round 3 sides of those and you turn those through. What you then do with the feet is you don't leave a gap for turning on the feet. You just create a sewn-in shape. And then what you need to do from the wrong side of one of the feet. And if you have a look at the feet...
Oh, is this where you wrote slash?
Yes, that's where I wrote slash. So if you have a look on the finished product and turn one of his little paws over...
So that was the piece. Oh, there you go. It helps if I actually turn it around so you can... I was busily reading it quite happily there. Slash. Along there. And that's marked on there. So then, look, you just...
So what you do is you slash a hole in the back. So you need to make sure you're careful. Just pinch the fabric and you'll be able to feel that you're grabbing just the back piece of fabric on those, and then cut a hole either using your seam ripper or a small pair of scissors, and that gives you a little slot for you to insert the leg into.
And then...
So I've just turned under a raw edge and poked the leg in, and
Oh, so that's actually sewn in place from the toe
top,
detail.
yeah, the top stitching on the toes. And what I probably would do is, doesn't say it in the pattern, but I would probably slip stitch on the other side just to neaten it up a bit.
Just to make sure that that's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So once you've made those legs, then you attach the legs at the same time as the tail, and yes, you attach those at the same time. So you construct your cushion as you would do, right sides together, sandwiching in your legs and your tail, and then you place the head on afterwards. So the head goes on at the very end. And the head is actually only attached by means of the buttons.
Oh, really?
So the head's not like totally squished in place. He's got a bit of movement to him.
Woof, woof.
Very good.
I love it. I love it. Brilliant. What a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
On a rainy, miserable
it is
February day.
A rainy day kind of project.
Yeah.
I must say. So here we'll just trim round.
Are you pinking this or
no?
Or...
You know what, I'm going to rotary cut it because it's quicker.
What? Controversial.
I know.
Look at you. I couldn't do this. Okay, I'd be reaching for my pinking shears. So if you aren't a whiz with a rotary cutter like old Peter here, then yeah, get your scissors.
Yeah, get your scissors.
But it'd be fair to say that as a pro, you've done this a couple of times before.
Oh, just sometimes it's quicker to just whiz round.
Whee.
Okay.
Now, you see, my top tip is all of this leftover stuff. Pop it in a little bag, keep it to one side, and then when you're doing dog beds or whatnot, or cat beds, stuff it with all your leftover stuffing bits.
Why not? So if we can just see, I'm not sure you can see anymore, I've got the little right angles at the bottom of that stitching.
We're going to come in and see if we can
see.
And it is literally just a couple of stitches
Just a couple of stitches.
Did I see you hand crank that actually? Did you hand crank?
Yes, I did actually. Only because, like I said, I put the wrong foot on here. I couldn't quite see where I was going, so I've just done that by hand. And you can pop that through to the right side.
Got 2 minutes.
And 1 ear.
2 minutes and 1 ear?
2 minutes and 1 ear.
That's all right. Basically, if there's anything vital that you need to show us, show us now.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much.
So then would you...
Doggy head.
This bit down here, would you fold under and press and then...
Yes, you'd fold that under, give it a press, and then, well, actually, it says to slip stitch it, but what I figured is I'd left enough of a seam allowance so that when I came...
Oh, did you top stitch?
Yeah, because you top stitch around the outside, and I figured that as I was top stitching around, there was enough of a seam allowance that you can just catch that in the finish, if that makes sense. So what I've done is I've gone on here, if we have a little look. So this is the edge here that you've left open for turning through, and this little edge here is where you would slip stitch, but I've caught that in the top stitch that I've done around the outside.
Oh, hang on, I've got an idea.
Go on.
So if you are Alice in Scotland and you're doing the rabbit,
yes,
you can stick your teeth out there.
Oh, you could stick your little teeth
Couldn't
out
you?
there.
You could stick your little felt white teeth
you would
out
just,
there.
I think you would just need to glue baste those in place first before you edge stitch, because otherwise you're going to end up with wonky teeth.
There you go. There's one ear.
Little...
Mandy says, does the Quilt As You Go dog placemat make one mat? Yes.
There you go. Simple question.
Yeah.
Simple answer.
Victoria, thank you.
That's all right.
It's been great fun. It's been a little bit different. Now, back in an hour.
Yes, I am back
and you're
in
going
an
to
hour.
make that gorgeous bag,
And
the
nice
ABC
tote.
bag. Yeah, lovely tote.
It's a good tote.
And you're going to use something that I've never used before.
No.
I can't remember what it's called. But it begins with a D.
Decaville.
That's it, Decaville.
Decaville.
Look at that, it's lovely, isn't it? So that's where you're going to be back in it. You see, look, it's so snugly. Thank you.
No problem.
Right, let's go and have a look at the fabrics. I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Oh, take my dog with me.
Oh yeah, take the dog. I'll keep the one-eared dog.
For me, ripping you apart from your dog. Now, here we go. If you want to make this version, exactly this version, then we've done it with Tilda. So you get your bonder web and your thread. Okay, they're the bits that you don't have to then worry about fishing about for because you've got it all there. Then you've got your fat quarter of Tilda. You get 1/2 meter of your lovely star fabric and 1/2 meter of your glacier grey, and that's all $17.99. But everything's in there, which is just brilliant, because then you don't have, you know, sometimes have I got bundle web, have I not? Doesn't matter, it's coming in. It's coming in. Now, let's have a look at the next one. This is your Dashwood. This is the one that we've been making it from. This has been incredibly popular this hour. Again, your threads and your bonder web. Oh, producer Paul says you're going to have to check out. And he knows because he's got all the figures there. So there we go. There's your Dashwood dog. Dasher, I'd like to call him. Dasher the Dashwood dog. Then you've got your spot on in, I know I'm going to say stone. And then your biscuit. Okay, so maybe if you're making for somebody else and you don't know what colours they like, go with a nice neutral one like that. Now, cat chow. Are you going to stay there, dog? Stay. No, you're not, are you? Right. Here we go. You've got a white and a sort of orangey ready thread there to go with your cat chow. Now, this is one of the ones in the book, okay? So if you saw me show you that earlier, then this is the closest that we can match it. So you're getting a fat quarter of tilde. Loads, you've got this in your basket, by the way. And you've got 1/2 metre of your linear, 1/2 metre of your linen look linen, all in there for £23.49. And then if you want to do one of the big quilts with all of the colours and either the dogs or the cats, you get both versions in there, then this is 4 metres of fabric, 1/2 metre of each of these beautiful colours for £33.49. NBGC 66 for all of those. That's a happy bundle, isn't it? Now, talking of happy, we had Tulip Pink in yesterday. Now, if there's ever a lady that creates fabrics that make us happy, it's her. So we put together yesterday a bundle of all the fabrics. It was a whopper and it sold out, which means that some of you missed out. Now, beautiful Wendy in the office has managed to restock that for us today. So if you missed yesterday and you were gutted, don't worry. Don't worry, we've done our best. We didn't manage it for yesterday, but we have done it for you today. So if you needed all of the Tula beautiful fabrics, all 21 metres, that's a whopper. By the way, that's still only £2.95 P&P. Then we've got it for you. In fact, could you possibly pass it to me, please? Wait. Here, oh, here it is, so you can have a look at it. Look at that. Woohoo! That is a stunner. So if you want 21 metres of Tulip Pink with all the colours and her incredible design, absolutely stunning. This sold out yesterday. We've managed to bring it back for you. Oh, I know, Jess has just walked in and taken one lock and gone, whoa! 42 designs, so 1/2 metre of each of those. 42 designs. I cannot wait to look at that. I feel very, very sorry for any floor manager that had to iron all of that. Oh, was it you, Wayne? Good job. So we're going to take a look at that very quickly after the break before we get going with Jess's Pinny. So that's £312.99, but you are getting a whopping 21 metres. Oh, my word. Wow. Can't wait to see that. So join us after the break. We'll see you in just a moment.
Join us on Facebook. Simply search for the Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
So today we're going to be learning the prick stitch. Now the prick stitch is very similar to a back stitch, and they're basically very tiny stitches which are visible on the front of the fabric and very long stitches on the back. So first of all, you need to start with the needle at the wrong side of the fabric coming through to the front. And like I said, it's very similar to the back stitch where you're going to go backwards rather than forwards, and you want to make this stitch as tiny as possible, so taking a couple of strands from the fabric itself. And then the length of your prick stitch could be entirely up to you, so I'm going to make it quite a large one so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going through the fabric, and then I'm going to come back again, taking a couple of strands from the fabric to come down. You want to keep these as even as possible as you're going across the line. So there we have our prick stitch.
As soon as you place an order with us, we get to work on making your shopping experience that extra bit special. Our warehouse team pick your items and cut your fabric with the greatest care and precision. Cut fabric is neatly folded and packed in a tissue paper-lined presentation box. And when we're satisfied that it's just perfect, it gets the Sew & Quarter seal of approval. So whether you're giving a gift or treating yourself, you can shop with confidence, knowing your Sew & Quarter purchases will arrive in style. On the 9th of February, we have a quintessential quilting treat for you. Join me, Natasha McCarty, for an hour of our favourite quilts from our first year on air. At 9 AM, we'll take a trip down memory lane and look through our famous kits, including the stunning Bargello quilt, a Round the World quilt kit, and the adorable kitty cat quilt. Bargello quilting is all about the colour, so our expert quilters have carefully selected the perfect palettes for this best-selling kit. The hardest part will be choosing your favourite colour combination, from sweet sorbets, deep jewel tones, bold brights, and not forgetting the infamous rainbow-inspired hues. What a decision! So don't miss out on what's set to be a wonderful hour of our ultimate kits. Tune in at 9 AM on the 9th of February, only on Sew & Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678.
Simply Sewing is a magazine for dressmakers and home sewists who are passionate about fabrics and love to sew with stylish patterns. Each issue is packed with technical know-how, templates and easy-to-follow instructions to sew yourself quick wardrobe updates, accessories, plushy toys, gifts, bags and more. Plus, each issue comes with a free dress pattern from our expanding trend-led collection. We're proudly flying the flag for contemporary sewing with stylish patterns and beautiful photography to inspire sewists across the globe at every level.
Oh, it's all mine. Welcome back. Oh my goodness. So when I was in on Tuesday, just as I was getting ready to go, they cracked out the Tula pink fabrics ready for Tula's show yesterday. I didn't get a chance to have a proper look at them. This sold out yesterday. I don't think I can let anybody else have it. 42 half meters. Clutching it, 42 half meters of fabric. Apart from anything else, a lot of ironing went into this stack, just so that you know. I mean, just look at all those colours there. This is it, isn't it? This is what Tula does so beautifully. It's her eye for colour, it's her detail. You know, this is a lady that will spend 3 months designing a fabric, and if the colourways and the design just doesn't work, scrap it. 3 months of work's gone. It didn't work. Let's have a look at these. Whoa. Look at these. So Tula Pink is renowned for quirky fabrics that are bright, colourful, cheerful, but also hide animals. This one is in plain sight. So we've got 42 of these, so I can't spend hours, but look, that'll be the show gone, wouldn't it? But look at them. So you get different colourways. Right, let's do this in a pretty way, shall we? So, right, here we go. So, you get, these are your squirrels. Loving the squirrels over here. They're your squirrels. Then you've got the birds. Oh, loving the birds. Look at this. Oh, no, actually, you've got to see it in this colourway because this is stunning. Look at that. She's just an amazing artist. Just look at that. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Right, and again, you've got these in various different colourways. Yeah, just look. Whoa. And then, oh, now this is the bee one, isn't it? When you look at, I mean, from there it just looks like pretty, look at that. But when you actually look, some ways it looks like flowers, some ways it looks like bees. So clever, so clever. Not even halfway through, but look at them, they're just gorgeous. So if you did miss it, oh, look at that one. But then look at that one. Oh, whoa, hang on. We'll get on to that. Let's put all the bees together. Producer Paul says it's probably the best one I've ever seen in my life. Well, this one, Producer Paul, is this one your favourite one? Yeah, see, you're not going to... Hang on, is that a frog? Oh, no, well, no, I was looking at the fly in his tummy. A quick snack. Oh, this is brilliant. Just will you keep putting them out, Natasha? I'm looking, I'm just admiring, I'm enjoying. Whoa, that's a joy of colour, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, this is the owl. That's incredible. Look at, now, you're paying 1p&p for all of these. This is kind of her signature owl, isn't it? This was on the front of her beautiful Aurifil threads. You know, the big whopper. That was amazing too. Oh, there was just so much that I wanted. Could have spent a month's worth of wages yesterday. Look at this one.
Oh, I love that one.
Ah, is that a raccoon? Yeah. I think it's a raccoon rather than a skunk. But I don't know, it's got like nice eyeliner. I'm impressed by the eyeliner. Loving this. There it all is. Oh my word. You see, I'm just looking, oh, hang on. There's the frog. There's the rest of the frog collection. Let me put all the frogs collection. So if you did miss out on this yesterday, don't miss out again. We've brought it back for you today. It sold out in minutes yesterday. Now let me show you the frog, because we've got the frog in various different colours now. Look at the frog with a little fly in his tummy. Love these. And of course, so you've got all the different colourways. Now, you see, normally the only way that you would see a collection like this is if you bought kind of a jelly roll collection or charm pack, and then you'd only just get a little hint. Now, they are all your various patterns. Now let's go through, because then, you see, you'd then maybe play and go, okay, so I want that frog with that spot. And maybe work through these. So let me show you all the different spots. You to choose. So maybe you're just going to do one whopper of a great big quilt using up all of these. And did you see the English paper piece one that she had? It was just stunning. So these are your spots, loads of these. And it's just, it's that talent of getting exactly the right tone that's going to work. Just beautiful. So then the eye is drawn. The colours are complementing. Look at this, wow. 42.5 meters of fabric going on here. Just so that you know, oh, hang on, someone's got to tidy up this desk in a second, haven't you? Sorry about that. But look, all these candy stripes are just amazing, aren't they? Now, a lot of you adding this into the basket, but look, this sold out in minutes yesterday. So if that is anything to go by, if you were disappointed yesterday because you missed out, this is like the most upmarket, best jumble sale look ever, isn't it? Look at this, you get all of this. This is gonna be your floor when it arrives, because you're gonna have to get it out, rummage around, put it on the floor, have a play. Which ones do I like the best? What goes with what? Am I gonna put that with those frogs? What am I gonna do? Oh, that's hours of fun. I mean, basically book a month off work so that you can play with all of this. That is a little sneaky extra that lovely Wendy in the office managed to put together for you. Oh my word. That's not what we're doing this hour. This hour is about the pinny. Let's have a look at the pinny. Yeah, so that's the pinny that we're making, which is pretty impressive. It's fun, it's kitsch, it's just, oh, it's brilliant. And that's what we're going to make for you today. And you can make it too, which is wonderful. So shall we have a look at the pattern first? Because the pattern comes with each of the kits. So the one that we've made it in is this one. And let me just show you that. There we go. So you are going to get 4 meters. That's a big old apron, isn't it? 4 meters of fabric. So you get a meter. This is very, I feel like I'm on holiday. A meter of that one. Then half a meter, 2 meters. Okay, so that's how that's working out. 2 meters, half metre, half metre, metre. That's how your full metre breaks down, and that is $39.99, plus, of course, the pattern and your thread. Now, the pattern gives you, it says is Mrs. Girls and Doll, plus your oven mitt. So basically, mum, daughter, doll. Everyone's catered for. Yes, so that's the first one. The pattern is coming with it, so you don't have to buy the pattern separately. That is in there, ready for you to go. Yeah. Then the toucan. I love this one. I love it. Are we making it out of this one? Yay! This is just, I mean, if we're talking fun, fresh fabrics, no, I probably can't say that again. Then this is the one to go for. $39.99, a metre of your toucans. Then you're getting half a metre of your apple green. You're getting half a metre of your lovely yellow there. And then you're getting 2 metres of that brilliant orange there. If you want to, you know, cheer yourself up while you're having a quick cook, do that. Yeah. Now our last option, slightly more muted colours, I think, here. This is from the Dashwood range. This is the Dashwood confetti range. You've got a metre of your confetti, and then you've got half a metre of your spot on, half a metre of your spray time, and then, whoa, look at that blue. You are getting 2 metres of that, plus your thread, plus your pattern. So there's no need to pay extra for the pattern. That is all in there, which is fabulous. Now, you are eagle-eyed. I will give you that at home, because a lot of you are going, now hang on a minute, Tash, what's this? We've got 2 of these. Now I want to, 26 spools in here. So yesterday, Tula bought a beautiful bundle of threads. This, however, gives you 96 spools of metal poly sheen thread. Now, this has a large surface area, which gives you that sheen. It does have a beautiful shine to it. So if you are an embroiderer, then this is the way to go. And look at this. Let me just spin this around. There they are. We'll open it up later and have a closer look, but we only have 2 of these. But the sheen on them is actually beautiful. Actually beautiful. Can I show the bit in the middle? Yeah, no, I've got, yeah, no, let's do it now. I know, it's... You don't mind, do you? No, she's all right. Here we go. You've got, so you can keep it all in colour order. You've got the codes, and also if you need to reorder any when you've run out, then you can order using the codes. And then in the middle bit here, look at this. So then if you want to have a good idea, and I love this, as to how they look, look at this. It's like when you go to the hairdresser and they go, what colour do you want to be? But what it gives you, it shows you the sheen. And that's what you're getting with this, is that beautiful sheen. So if you are making the most, if you want your thread to really be a feature, there you go, look at that beautiful sheen on there. Then you're getting 96 different colours, plus the colour chart, so that if there isn't a shade, then you can always find it. I just think it's brilliant, but we only have 2 of these. But if you are, especially for embroidery, just stunning. Of course, they're all kept beautifully together. Are you going to wear it? No, I can't sew and pinning.
You're wearing, actually, doesn't it?
It does a bit, doesn't it? There we go, let's bring it in here.
Let's bring it here. I was just thinking those threads you've got on the right-hand side, you've got all the neon threads.
Yeah.
So when I think of sort of embroidery with small children, like boys, sort of neon really stands out. That looks really, really nice. But yes, my lovely kitsch, I love the word kitsch. It's even got rick-rack on it. I don't know if we've got rick-rack here, but I've got rick-rack from SQ for that. And it is lined, hence the meterage.
Really? That's why. So this is a
and there is enough fabric for to actually make your grown-up. This is a medium size. Your kids, your girls, and your dolly, with the pieces for the dolly are just so cute. And we also got the oven mitt as well somewhere.
We do,
we have the oven mitt.
What I like about this is it's incredibly flattering because you've got this panel here.
Yeah, you've got the yoke, so it pulls you down.
It's giving you all the curves in the right places, isn't it?
It has. Also, this with the actual pattern, you can do it with a button, or we've actually just tied it. We just put a tie there instead. But I'm just going to show you a little bit of the pattern pieces because there's so many. It was over there. I think you put it over there.
Find it.
Go find
We'll find it.
But I'll just show you, just so you can see the scaling down. That is the grown-up oven mitt, and that's the doll.
Hang on. You get the oven glove in all 3 sizes.
Yeah, in all 3 sizes.
Is this for the doll?
That's for the doll.
There?
The doll size doesn't change. But you have 3 sizes for the missus, 3 sizes for your girl, and 1 size for your dolly. I think the dolly is for an 18-inch. When I was showing it to Victoria earlier, she said, "Oh, I might have to look at that for her daughters because they've got 18-inch dolls, so make them a little apron would be really, really cute."
Brilliant. So you get this in your kit. When you buy your fabric bundle, you get this in there. So you can make for yourself, and you make your own oven glove. You can make for your daughter, grandchild, whoever.
Young friend
who likes to cook, and their oven glove, and then dolly is not left out.
Exactly.
I've told this story before now, but when I was at school, like, you know, really little first day at school, there was a little boy in my class called Johnny Williams, and his mum was his nan was a school secretary, and she had knitted his Snoopy a school uniform exactly the same as his, so that Snoopy could come to school too. I love this idea of accessorising everybody together.
Everyone's got something.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I wouldn't say this is a project for a child to do, but you could certainly sit there and make it with your child, and they can, oh look, I've helped make one for my dolly, and there's the oven glove, and look, also lined.
Nice.
And you use your rick-rack to hang it up. I really like that as a detail.
Brilliant.
So there we are.
Now you're going to want to have your compressed thermolam for wadding that, so that it's nice and safe.
Yeah. Although maybe not necessarily for the dolly. I think the dolly will be fine without.
Well,
I wouldn't necessarily put much very thickness wadding in that. It's so cute though, isn't it? Can you imagine a little, or if you're taking your dollies going out in the winter, make them pair of mittens?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, could be for bears as well. There's your thermolam on your screen there. It's compressed, so it's much denser, so it's safer for use in your oven gloves. I've had to learn all about this stuff. I didn't really know. Now, Jess, where do we get started on this? Because there's a lot.
There is a lot, and I mean, we're not going through the pattern pieces, but there's very, very comprehensive pattern pieces for you to choose and work out what you're going to go for. So and gives you the sizes on the back, what sort of size for your actual child. Where are we? Where does it say? So
you've got a small, medium, large child.
Yeah. So a small child. Let's see. Where does it say? It might actually say it in there. Oh, here we go. It's got the finished lengths and finished sizes, so you can work out how big your child is and which one actually might fit them, because you might think they're going to be like a medium and they're actually really small. But of course, if you make it bigger, they can always grow into it.
Yes,
that sort of thing. So, and I also like this one. It's another way
you can bake extra cookies.
Bake extra cookies. Fine. Can you imagine doing that when you've got school bake-offs? They got sort of matching aprons or something. Really, really cute. So, again, really comprehensive instructions. As per the earlier show, gives you details on how to actually cut out your fabric, so it's on the grain of the fabric, gives you the sort of right side, wrong size, all those sort of bits and bobs, and even shows you how to cut out the tiny little bits for dollies, which is just...
Oh, nice.
I wouldn't necessarily bother too much about dollies being, you know, matching with the selvage and stuff. I don't think that really matters.
If you're a perfectionist, you're a perfectionist, and you want it exactly right.
But the good thing about this is because you will have offcuts when you cut out your fabric. You put those offcuts to the side, and then you can reuse those. Not much goes to waste if you're actually making the entire set for everybody. So you cut out all your pieces in the fabric of your choice. Obviously, the bigger fabric is the lining fabric. So for our toucan, the lining is this lovely bright burnt orange. What colour orange would we say this is?
Have we called it Vienna orange? Is it that one?
Vienna orange. So as you can see, I've gone for a medium girl. This is the medium girl length.
Right.
So I reckon a small one's probably going to be 4-year-old, 3-year-old, that's probably a 7, and then you go up to like a 10, that sort of thing. So you cut out all your pieces. When I'm doing anything like this, because sometimes pieces may look similar, I always cut them out, because you're having, for example, there's 2 of these and 2 of these. I always cut all the pieces out and put the pattern piece on top of them and then pin everything. So when I put them away, I know what this is for, because sometimes you'll just put it in somewhere and you're not too sure, and you get the piece of fabric out and you're thinking,
well,
which bit is that? So always use pins like this and just keep your pieces separate. So this is the lining. So put that to one side. And then you've got your...
It's like a shell, isn't it?
It is. It really is. We've got our straps. We've got our yoke. And then we've got our...
It's a yoke.
Yoke is this.
Oh, I call that the flattering bit.
The flattering, well, that flattering bit. You could, if you wanted to. If you wanted to work out, you could work this as out to try and make this into a skirt if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you know what I thought? When I saw that, I was thinking of, you know, is it Tinky Winky? Is she the little girl from the Night Garden? Does she have that sort of shape on her dress?
No.
Who's that?
She's Upsy Daisy.
Upsy Daisy. But I was also thinking, when I was looking at this, I was thinking flower fairies. Remember the flower fairies always had the petals?
They had the plum skirts.
Yeah, so this would be really, really pretty if you did it in sort of soft sort of pastels as well. Really, really pretty. Anyway. So you cut out your fabrics and you lay things to one side, and you start with your bib, I suppose you would call it. So what you actually have...
Can I just ask my director quickly, who doesn't have kids, how do you know all the names of the Night Garden people?
Worrying, isn't it?
Oh, we used to work for them.
I see. I'm just watching children's TV because I've got nothing else to do.
I know you like to watch children's TV, but I didn't have award-winning director
which is shockingly boring. But some of it, and children's TVs actually seem to be written because you know there's going to be an adult sitting there bored out their mind thinking, just watch TV and let me have a break. I feel guilty of watching TV. But then they put something in like Peppa Pig or Ben and Holly, and you laugh along with it. My favourite is Hey Duggie. We watch that anyway. That's like wind down telly. Anyway, so this tells you to piece your yoke first of all. You'll notice on your pattern pieces we've got notches. Okay. You can either, as they have on here, cut a sort of a little triangle out to match your notches. Yeah. As they have, or what I always do. This is just me, but I'm not a dressmaker per se. I do things when I'm asked to, but my thing is creating something new in fabric. That's why I like doing something homeware or whatever. Anyway, so what I do is I tend to cut into the notch like this, and then I'll make a mark using my erasable pen on the fabric. Oh, okay. So you still marked it on. I still mark it. I don't. You can also snip, but there's nothing worse. This is a 1/4 inch seam allowance of snipping over snipping. And when I was growing up, we always used to use snipping, but I think we actually used a centimetre seam allowances or something. But yeah, so whenever I do anything like this, I use an erasable pen. Okay. Test your fabric first, but you know this is Premier Cotton. It always washes out. So I always put my marks like this, and also refer to the actual pattern on how you're going to do it. So I've got all my pieces cut out. 12 and 13, and I'm going to work out this bit matches there because the actual yoke is on that side. Right, yes. I mean, the actual strap's attached here, not there. Okay, yeah. So we're just going to lay them out, matching notches. Okay, so we're doing the top bit. And as you can see, now you've got your notches. Oh, okay. They match. That works. So that works, and therefore you'll see you've got that line like this. And you sew those two together, those two together, and those two together. Brilliant. And you create that. So I shall do that now. And 1/4 inch on these 1/4 inch, so from top to bottom. Oh, excellent. And because you have your matches. Can you imagine sewing the dolly one? How tiny that would be. But so cute. But so cute. It doesn't have to be for a dolly, you know. Teddy bears don't want, you know. Teddy bears, Teddy bears picnic! Yes! Oh, that would be really cute. Can you imagine? Because also, just to note, if you didn't have your notches, you might try and line that up to there, but you think that doesn't make sense because when you actually sew it, you're going to end up like that. Wonky. So that's why you have your notches there, because then even if you go down there, the actual line you start sewing is starting at that point where the fabrics actually meet. Right, I'm with you. You see, that's why notches are really important. Yeah, you see, because I'm not dressmakery, I'm a craft sewer. Yeah, is how I would describe myself. I forget about notches. I forget the importance of notches. Do not forget the importance of notches. And if you're never too, I mean, there are so many tutorials out there about sort of what pattern markings mean and everything. So you can always find something if you're not too sure. You know, if you're someone like John who trained in making the patterns himself, in your head. Then it's ingrained and you know it. But if you haven't done that, and if you're someone that you know is either self-taught or
you know, went to school a long time ago and haven't really sewn since, or
Yeah, then
you know,
you're not necessarily too sure.
Yeah.
Just slip that bit off, that's fine. Just caught a bit, I'll start again. Yeah, that's the thing, if you're not too sure, that's the wonderful thing about life these days. There's so many tutorials out there that you can always find something out there on the web. Or just whatever.
Just watch us. There you go.
Go a little bit faster.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love this hair tortoise.
You turned down your hair tortoise.
I did, I turned it down, didn't I? I was doing the doodah.
Give us a clue what a doodah is.
When I was doing the fleece bit.
Give us a clue. Where is my rick rack? I haven't got any rick rack, producer Paul.
Just do those. This comes with the orange thread because it matches the. You tend to pick the thread which actually matches your lining, but if you wanted to, you could change this to sort of a plain. If you didn't necessarily wanted to see, you could always, if you wanted to, just top stitch this when you've sewn anything down, but I don't think you need to.
Now this is the kit that we're working with, the toucan kit. Well, they've called it Tropicana and Birds. I like to call it the toucan kit. You can, toucan. $39.99 for your Tropicana Birds apron kit. You are getting a whopping 4 meters of fabric. I think it's lovely. It's fun, it's bright, it's colourful. It's going to make it fun.
It is going to make it fun.
And you can make yourself an apron. You can make your children aprons. You can make their dollies or bears aprons. It's entirely up to you who you make them for. Freddie's school turns 60 this year. Ooh. And they're doing a cookbook. So everybody's putting in
oh, I love that as an idea.
A recipe, one of their favourite recipes. And maybe we should have all the kids have little aprons like this.
Yes, this isn't. You could actually do this in an afternoon, to be honest. You could always actually simplify it slightly, and instead of having the piece front, you could actually have it just with the back. So you've actually, because if you didn't want the piece, you've actually got this line.
Oh, so you could
just do the solid that and solid that, and you could put patch pockets on it. You could actually have the school name on it if you wanted.
Embroider it on, especially if you've got the Metler poly sheen gorgeous threads. Whew, don't know if we've got any of those left. Let's investigate that in a moment. Now, I promised you rick rack.
Oh, I love that colour.
I'm a woman of my word. What can I say? Here's some rick rack for you. So if you would like to rick rack, then which just gives you a nice little finish, especially with, look, see, nice, and then something to hang it on. Oh, do you know our mitt at home?
Yeah.
The handle on it, it's the loop on it, it's too small. It's really annoying. Yeah, no, it needs taking out and a new one putting in, so I can't hang it anywhere. It's very annoying. This is your pink. And you're getting a whopping 25 metres here, so you can have this for all sorts of different projects. I always like to think about bunting with that.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. Now maybe you want to go for, there you go, there's your blue. Now that's your sky blue. I'm just looking at which ones that's going to go. Well, they all go with all of them, don't they? Yeah, it's going to work. Woo-wee, if you really need cheering up, adjust your screens. That works, wow. That works with the toucan. I think it's fair to say that goes with the toucan because you've got that yellow in there. In your Tropicana Birds one, that's the one to go for. $12.99 there for 25 metres of rick rack.
Which is a lot.
It is a lot, but with the rick rack, it's a nice wide one. So it's less fiddly than some of the narrow ones where, you know, you need to be able to live halfway around.
Well, what I would say is this is the stuff I actually use, this pink. I use that for that apron and for the oven glove.
Is that the actual one?
That's the actual one. That's what you have left over.
Opened. I
exactly. There's so much left. No, there's so much on there. I would say the giant rick rack, I wouldn't obviously use it for the dolly. I'd scale the rick rack down. It might be a bit, and when you're doing your rick rack, I'll tell you about that in a sec. When you're actually attaching your rick rack, I'll just come round here so you can see better. If you actually look at this, bring her in. We have to give her a name. What do we call her? Lucille Ball.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's a bit I Love Lucy, isn't it? I love it. So when you actually see here, you've got the rick rack goes in like this.
Yes.
So when I pinned it, when I first pinned it, I started pinning up here, went all the way around, and you sort of turn. And when I got to this bit, I ended up with a lump here, which I thought, no. So I unpinned it all. tisking at myself, and worked out an idea of where I needed to be, and then started pinning it here, and then worked down.
Okay.
And then worked out how many scallops,
yeah,
I needed to go across from there to there, because you can stretch it slightly so they all match like that.
Nice.
So,
and then you don't have any lumpy bits.
You don't have any lumpy bits, yeah.
Scallopy bits.
The scallopy bits.
We're full of terms for you. Lumpy bits and the scallopy bits. You know.
And this covers your lumpy bits with your scallopy bits.
This covers your other lumpy bits. Very flattering. Brilliant.
So then we have our, and you can see, look, Mummy.
Oh,
I know, cute. So then we have that bit.
gorgeous.
We then attach it to our back. So this is the back bit.
Oh, is this folded in half? I did wonder.
Yeah, it's cut on the fold. So we'll just give it a quick press. So you can see the sort of the hot orange, sort of shot of hot orange, and you can see because you've marked your piece.
Yes.
Because it's got your bit there.
Yes.
You know which is the right way around.
Right.
Actually, it's the right way around anyway because it's not reversible. So you know that notch needs to line up with that. So I'll just give it a quick press, and then we'll stitch that all the way around.
Fabulous. Whilst you do that, I'm going to go look at some bundles. Cool. Because we are running out of time. Okay. Each of the bundles comes with your instructions, so don't worry about this. Now, the one that you've made, the one that, here we go. There's your thread. It's the one that Jess has made. There's your instructions, your pattern. And you are getting the Tropicana apron. And that's got, oh, I love that, it's so fresh, isn't it? So that's 1 metre of the melons and the tropical fruits, 1/2 metre, 1/2 metre, 2 meters, that's your backing. So you're going to be able to make your oven glove as well. So this is, this is a full sort of domestic goddess suite going on here. Brilliant, for you and your little ones. And then this one here is the one that we're demoing with. This is your Tropicana and Birds. Love this. We're all singing the Tropicana song in our hairs, aren't we? 1/2 metre of your apple, 1/2 metre, look at that yellow. And then this, whoa, this fabulous orange there. And that is 2 meters of that. So 1 metre of your birds, 1/2 metre, 1/2 metre, 2 meters, and your thread and instructions. Don't forget instructions with all of these. Wonderful. And then the last bundle is very, very pretty. And you've got your confetti in this one, 1 metre of your confetti. There you go. You're getting 1/2 metre of your spot on, 1/2 metre of your pink spray time, and 2 meters of that brilliant sort of aquary blue. Love that. And the thread to match that. Beautiful. And the pattern as well. So it makes 3 different adult sizes, 3 different children's sizes, and a doll as well. Well, doll's penny, not the actual doll. And oven gloves. For all 3, again, for all 3. It's brilliant. The choice. Brilliant.
I forgot to say, because
Yes.
you finished, you said we're running out of time. I thought, ooh, and your brain goes, get with it. Is at this point, you actually, before you sew the lining to your bib,
Yeah.
you attach your...
Oh, do you just baste in the straps?
Yeah, the straps, very simple. Obviously, you get your pattern piece. It tells you how to actually make your strap. I think it's the standard. Let's have a quick look. I'll put it there. You have your pattern piece, fold it, right sides together. If it had a right side, stitch along one short end, down the end, and then you turn it right side out.
Get your prim turning tool for that.
Yes.
Make life a lot easier.
So you've stay stitched your straps like that.
Okay.
Okay. And then we put this on like upside down, like this. So just move that in while you do it. In fact, there we go. Might pin that like that. So, okay, let's just pop that like there. When you ever have a thing like this, because you're sewing all the way around from there, you have the hole in the bottom. You're always
do we
trying
need
to think.
to do this right sides together?
Yes, because I've sewn it the wrong way round.
But 17 minutes, and but these are the mistakes that I would make.
Yeah,
but it's best to make it
fine.
now.
That's fine. Do we have a seam unpicker somewhere?
Probably somewhere.
Probably somewhere. I can't believe I just did that in my rush.
Yeah, but
It's a standard rush.
We should have a seam unpicker on
Don't
here,
worry,
shouldn't we,
don't worry.
really?
Should we do the next bit, and I'll
Okay.
unpick that when the
We'll put that to
comes.
one side. We might have done that. We'll put that to one side when the seam ripper comes out. So, good that. So it also tells you, we'll put that to one side, also tells you to make your straps when you've made your, as in your ties.
Yes.
So I can see I've made those.
Actually, the ties are nice and long. Let's give it, because I spent a little while doing a bow.
Look at that bow. So as you can see, it's been scaled down for a child, slightly smaller. To actually make your ties, you, let's do it that way around. Let's get the pattern piece out so you can see. Here we have our tie pattern piece. So this is like that, with a point on the end. You then fold that in half, right sides together like this, and sew from there all the way around to the end, leaving this top bit here. You then trim off your points, turn it right side out, and give it a really good press. Okay, so those are those ties here. So to make your bottom part, as it were, just put that to one side. A lot of pattern pieces here, really are. So this is the lining.
It's detailed so you can make such a lovely piece.
Yeah. So that's the lining. You piece your main bodice, your main skirt, as you did for your bodice. You have an extra piece of fabric with that. As you can see, I used these two. And then I had this sort of spot on as the accent, because I love those. I think that's really pretty, and I love that as a sort of accent to it as well. So what I decided to do was to use the not hot yellow, what do you call it? Citrusy yellow.
Oh.
So that is really pretty, isn't it? And this is the point where you actually add your yoke.
Oh,
so here we have the yoke, which goes like that. So to actually add it, it's like, you know, when we talked earlier about when we did the placemats.
Yes.
And you had the pointy bit on the table runner. So this is the same principle. So you have, when you sew these, you sew panel to panel and then make a 3, panel to panel, make a 3.
Yes.
And then this bit, just make sure that you've actually got you don't sew right to the top. You've got a little sort of bare.
Oh, so you can...
so you can turn it. It says it when you actually turn this over, you can see there's a little dot there.
Okay. Wayne's just walked in. Can we have a stitch unpicker, please, Wayne? Thank you.
So what you do is you mark your little point here, 1/4 inch, and you're going to sew that bit there needs to line up with this bit here. The idea being you sew one bit and then you twist it into the other bit.
You've got some give, haven't you, to then turn it around?
Yeah, I'll just give that a quick press. So I'll just do that.
Oh, look, we've got a message. There we go. Morning, ladies. Enjoying today's show. Lots of giggles. Enjoy watching Jess demos. Thanks, ladies. Love Lucy. We all love Lucy.
Oh, we do. Thank you.
Fab.
Look at that. Love Lucy. So we have, look, and you can see that the girls' one is a little bit smaller. Oh, look at that, though.
Oh, that
actually goes. Oh, I love these pinks with the hot orange. It's really, really pretty. So I'll just pin those together while you kindly unpick with the tiniest stitches, because I use small stitches. So what I do, this is the bit where don't sew when you're tired, because if you sew when you're tired, I have to sew when I'm tired. That's my job, and you're usually tired, is work out where it's going to go. So this is your middle point. So you'll notice when you actually put this in here, you'll think to yourself, hang on a minute, that doesn't actually make sense because I've got a tail ending over here. It overlaps, but it needs to, because it means when you get it in the right spot, when you're stitching in with a 1/4 inch, it means that this edge will line up with the back edge so it goes straight up. So I'll just pin those and then I'll sew one bit. What I do with anything like this, and I'm thinking I'm not too sure whether I've done this right, you get patterns and it says sew this like this. And sometimes you think, oh, hang on, I've got a bit lost. So I tend to sew to the middle bit, take it off, check I'm happy with it, and then put it back on again and pivot it.
Saves some picking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Also, when it comes to putting in zips, I do this as well. I know sometimes when you put in a zip, they say just wiggle it past your foot, and sometimes you can't, so I backstitch it, take it off the machine, physically move the foot on the, it's all that, physically move the zipper rather. I always do it like that. So I'm just going to make sure that this corner point here lines up with the middle bit just there.
Oh, Alison in Cheshire says, good morning, Natasha and Jess, loving the show and all the helpful hints. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, that's what we're here for. I mean, I love doing Sewing Quarter, but I love the hints and things. I learn so much as well when I've got a moment, and I do have you guys on in the back. I watch the birthday shows. Your stitch off was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I love that.
Oh, gosh, I did feel rough that day.
Oh, you know what? You're a true pro. It doesn't show.
Wow, it's the joy of having small children and germs, isn't it?
Never-ending germs. Yes, the whole sort of send your child to nursery for socialising, which they did, but every single week they come back with something.
Something fresh. I'm just basting these in for you.
Oh, she's so good.
Very quickly, so that no one will ever know, Jess.
No one will ever know.
No one will ever know.
Look away now, folks. Look at something else.
Magic of television. This isn't happening.
Zooming in on your hands as well, look at that. Oh, I put so much hand cream on because I've got such... I'm constantly sewing, so my hands never have hand cream on, so they look battered and that sort of stuff. And then you have a manicure and your nails look lovely, but your hands look wrecked. Right, okay, so 1/4 inch. And we sew this on. I'm going to go to the middle. Again, if you're not too sure, take it slow. It's not a competition.
It's not. No. Never a competition.
When you're at home, do you have music on in the background or when you're sewing?
I don't have a TV in my workroom, so if I want to watch something like this, then it has to go on the iPad and straight off the website, which is great because then it's HD and you can really see all the detail.
Are we in HD? Do I need more makeup?
Yeah, we're on HD on our website. Is that the only place we're on HD? I'm looking at Tim. And where else? And on YouTube as well. But otherwise it's music. Or sometimes I just enjoy silence.
Now, I have sewn, hopefully, 10 minutes to the middle. I'm then going to lift that up and pivot it round. Give it a squiggle.
No, see if you can do this. You can also make Wonder Woman outfits.
Wonder Woman!
She has that sort of V down the front.
She does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go
Tim, who's come off from directing, is having a quick go on cameras. He's nodding. He said, yep, he could do a Wonder Woman.
What does he have? Does he have a Wonder Woman?
He does have a Wonder Woman in his life.
Maybe he could make her an outfit for Valentine's Day.
Maybe.
I might go, what? I want something else. Right, okay. So, and then you pull this. Make sure you've got the same sort of overlap by about 1/4 inch there.
Yeah.
Pull that nice and smooth. And just keep going.
This is going to be a treat.
Hopefully. Live TV, remember. Near the end. Where are we? Hang on. There we go. Go on. There we go. I'll do. Take it off.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Okay.
Now,
you're going to want to press that, aren't you?
I am. As you'll...
Oh,
look at
brilliant.
that. Hang on, turn that way around. There.
Yes. Perfect.
Yes.
Hooray.
With this, as you can see, we press the seams over. Don't worry about the back. No one's going to see it. It's going to be lined. You then press this down because then it makes it nice and smooth. So we just press that down, and then we add. We'll just quickly do the bodice again, and then we can add it together.
Oh, it's a bit like carnival.
It is a bit carnival. Carnival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to summer and carnivals. I was in the Bath Carnival last year.
Now, if you've got these in your basket, please do check out your baskets. Don't miss out. Remember, it's 1 P&P per day, so you can check out as many times as you like. We don't restrict you on that. It's just that if we've got it, we've got it. And if we haven't, don't want you to miss out.
There. So that is that bit.
Hurrah.
So I'll then just quickly sew that on there, and then we attach the straps and then put it together.
Okay.
And then we put the lining on. So I'll just attach that very quickly. How long have I got?
8 minutes.
Oh, that's fine.
So I was just lining it up there for you. Do you want me to line this? Oh, hang on, let me give this a quick press, because I know you're going to take one look at that and go, well, that needs a press. You like to press everything, don't you?
I do. It really shows if you don't.
Does it?
Yeah, it really does, because sometimes you'll do something, you'll get right to the end, and it look an absolute shocker.
Dog's dinner?
Dog's dinner.
Do you know, actually, one of our dressmaking guests, she always says that you've got one chance to set your seams and press, and that, you know, and then your seams will never be as, you know, that's your chance to get it absolutely right.
I totally agree, because if you don't, you'll always regret it. You'll always look at it and think, oh, I'm irritated by that.
And then you don't bother wearing it, do you?
No.
If there's any kind of niggle.
Well, it's like anything. If you're going to spend that money on fabric, and there's some fabric you buy because you're just going to, you know, play with it, and you're not. Some for when you actually have sort of fabric you don't mind getting, you know, throwing away, as it were, if you're doing dressmaking, that sort of thing. Now, so this bit, it should line up. If it doesn't, you can usually give it another quick press just to stretch the seams out. If it doesn't, I tend to sew from the front to the back.
Okay.
Because then you can actually see, can you see that? Because we've actually haven't given it much of a pull like this, it should actually just give it another pull and see if we can.
Oh no, it might have also been because I popped a pin in. I pinned.
Ah, that might be why. Yeah, just
I pinned the ties back so that we don't sew over them.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's all right. Because if you actually do sometimes,
it's too many cooks, isn't it?
That's all right. That's what we do.
Trying to be
it's like
helpful.
being a factory.
Setting it all aside for you. Now,
that's it. There we are.
we don't sew this bit yet, do we?
No.
So shall I just pin round the edges for you?
No, because what you do, if you, the pattern, I'll just do it like this. The pattern says you actually sew the yoke, not the yoke, this particular part to the front outer, as it were. Right. And then you attach your ties, you stay stitch those, and then you finish off by attaching this lining. Because when the yoke's already pinned in, then you attach the lining and then you turn it around with a turning gap. I know, it's very nifty. Right, okay, I'll just quickly do this. You would obviously have more than a few minutes to do this, and therefore you'd spend a little bit more time.
You'd do it perfectly.
As Lucille behind us testifies.
Now, how much did you have much fabric left over from this one?
Loads.
So you've got enough to do this.
Yes.
You've got enough, and you also did your oven glove as well.
Yes. There's enough in there to make, because you have the off-cut bit. So you think about it, you cut, I know you've done it, you cut this on the fold. So you've got, the fold is here, you've got all this extra bit. So you just keep these bits, and then you've got enough for the dolly bits or the, because these are actually quite small for the kids.
Yeah, I guess.
It's actually quite small pieces. So there is definitely, as long as you're clever with your fabric and you don't sort of cut things in the middle, there's more than enough fabric to do it all.
I love the oven glove. Right, we've got less than 5 minutes.
That's
Not to pressurise you, just so that you know.
That's all right. I am doing this in a bit of a rush, so it won't be as beautiful as this behind.
So you don't want me to pin this?
No. I'll just do this very quickly. And then I'll show you what you could do, actually, if you want to.
Yes.
Is you see the straps, the ties?
Yes.
Work out, if you look at the picture, you can work out by the actual image.
Okay.
Where the actual points are going to go.
Okay.
And we end up stay stitching this to there. So when you actually look at it, you have this here. This is the part, the bit I'm actually doing now. Yeah. Whoa, is she going to fall over? No, she's not. This is the part you'd actually put your rick-rack on first, but we're not doing rick-rack with this.
We simply don't have time.
Don't have time.
To rick-rack all over the place.
Da, da.
So you would stay stitch, you'd just tack these in place.
Yep.
And again, you want these so they go out when they're on. So when they're on, they're going to go out, which means that when you put them on, you've got to do them in like that. I'm going to remember this now by when Tim was directing, when he said with the dog's ears. He said, oh, it looks like they're shy. Shy dog ears, and then there'll be happy dog ears when you open them out.
I like that.
When we did it with the dog cushion in Victoria's show last hour.
I do like that dog cushion, it has to be said. I think it's really cute. It's a bit crazy, but I like crazy. Crazy suits me.
So round you go, round all of here.
Yep.
Are we going to have to snip into those scallops?
I've managed to do this underneath, because you're saying we've only got this amount of time.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's gone like that. That's okay. I've managed to rescue
I take full responsibility.
That's all right.
I get blamed for quite a few things.
Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because
do.
you're lovely.
I get blamed for people's lunches being late on the table and all sorts because they're too busy watching Sewing Quarter.
Oh, is that because you're a mum and therefore mum's blamed for everything?
I don't know.
I had one the other day. I had the look when we got to school, and I could see all these kids bringing in PE kit, and I said, Thomas, where's your PE kit? And he said, why didn't you remind me? And I was like, no.
I didn't know.
Because, no, I knew, but it's his responsibility.
Yeah, you got to learn.
But, it's a standard, you are mum, you must do everything. Right, okay, here we go. Come on, right to the end. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I know that, but I've missed it. There we go.
There you go. Okay.
So you would, at this point, clip your curves. Ding, ding, ding.
Mm-hmm.
Turn this right side out.
I'll give it a quick press. Go on, I'll turn it inside out.
Turn it inside out, and I will stay stitch these on. When you're actually doing this, make sure that you have, you leave, as you've noticed, you leave a 1/4 inch between the top bit of your yoke and your ties. The reason being is when you actually sew your bib and your lining on, you need to make sure that you've actually got that gap so the tie doesn't get caught up in your seam.
Yes. Yes.
But you've already figured that out because you've done it for me.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Well, you said look at the instructions. So
And you did. Always look at the instructions. If you're not too sure, read the instructions. Read them 2 or 3 times. I know it's like the same thing when you actually get a sewing machine. We've all done it. You get a sewing machine, manual, boring, and you just carry on. If you don't, you will regret it at some point.
Yes, I have done that. You're right. You've got a minute. I'm just going to clip these corners because otherwise it looks rubbish.
And then I'll show, yeah, because then I can show you how it actually looks, and you get a really good idea. And then you can think to yourself, I rather like it. But I suspect that pattern is going to be coming out of my trolley. I gave the other one back to lovely Adele in the office earlier, and I've got a sneaking feeling Victoria might have a look at that one for her girls.
Well, you know, why not? It's one of those things, because that's just it. I mean, we've assumed that you're going to make it for yourself, and you do, but it might be that actually you just want to make it for your daughters or whoever, and their dollies. It might not be for you at all. You might have a couple of girls like Victoria.
Okay, so that's now on like that. And then, I love these colours together. It really is Tropicana, isn't it?
Right.
Then, as you can see, that will look like that.
That'll go on there.
When it's all, we're ignoring that, so just caught a bit there. So what you end up doing is you stitch this across there. As you can see, that's a straight line, and that's a curved line. So, in your actual pattern, it just says to do it straight across. So you just make sure, so you've got this end bit is a little bit below this particular line.
We're out of time, Jess.
That's
Gotta go.
Okay, do it like that. Stitch all that in, and then you put this lining on there and stitch it, leaving a turning gap on one of the lines. Go all around, turn the turning gap, pin it. Done.
Ta-da! Ta-da! Thank you, my love.
That's okay.
Mwah. Right. Okay. Here we go. So, which one are you going for? God, bit of a rush. Let's have a look at the one that we've just made is the Tropicana Birds. Now remember, you get enough fabric to make a pinny for yourself, for your granddaughter, daughter, whoever, and their doll, and an oven glove as well. So there's huge 4 meters of fabric. It's a lot of fabric in there, plus your pattern, plus your thread. It's a big un. So there you go. That's for the Tropicana Birds. If you want the Tropicana over here, and this one has got all the water. This is the one that Jess made the sample from. 1 meter, 1/2 meter, 1/2 meter, 2 meters, and your thread and your pattern for all of those. And then you do need to check out on these. And then the last one over here is your dashwood. And here we go. So 1 meter, 1/2 meter, 1/2 meter, 2 meters, and your thread and your pattern all in. There you go. Brilliant. And then, if you were watching yesterday, oh my word, and you saw our Tulip Ink extravaganza day, we had messages asking us about Tulip Ink today. You can watch again on YouTube if you missed any of that. Go back and watch. But we had a mega bundle of 42 of her fabrics by the 1/2 meter here. 21 meters of fabric is what I'm looking at here. 21 meters. It's all here. 21 meters of Tulip Pink goodness. You've got these gorgeous candy stripes. You've got the spots. And then you've got, of course, her fabulous designs, which are just out of this world. So let's have a look at some of these. Now, of course, Tula is renowned for hiding animals in her prints, and this does not disappoint. Look at this. It's brilliant. So from afar, it just looks like a real pretty pattern, right? But then you get in and you start to see, look, there's a little frog. So look, you've got, oh, here we go. Got your little frog there, and he's got a fly in his tummy. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But from afar, it just looks like a stunning design. And then you get in more detail. Now, of course, you're going to get that in different colorways too. And then, of course, you get your spots and your stripes, which then you can accentuate with and match and work with those gorgeous colors. Now, let's have a look at the raccoon. This is producer Paul's favorite. So this is your raccoon, and he comes in many a different colorway. Okay, let me pop those there for you. So there's your raccoon. Aren't they beautiful? Just, oh. And of course, look, you know, even across the board, you could mix this one with this one because you've got the similar sort of colours going on, maybe that one with that one. But it just, when you know Tula Pink's designs, then it couldn't be anybody else. Now this here is your owl, and we'll get a good look at the owl in just one moment. And this was, if you saw that beautiful thread pack that she had, that was gold embossed on the top of her thread back. So this is just gorgeous. Look at that, that's your owl. It's all those different colours. And the beauty, I mean, normally you would only get this fabric in charm packs or jelly rolls, and you'd only get a slither, you'd only get a hint. You might just get a whiff of a raccoon tail or a bit of owl beak or something. You wouldn't get the full joy of the pattern here, but here you're getting a ½ metre of each. And then we've got the bees. Look at the bees. So again, this sold out in minutes yesterday. I mean, literally in minutes. So we've managed to recreate it for you today. A lot of hard work goes into when we have to recreate kits. You've no idea. But look, there you go. You've got those wonderful bees in there. From afar, it looks like a flower. Getting close, and of course we only have flowers because we've got bees. Oh, now this one. Ooh, yes. Let's have a look at these along here because these are just gorgeous. It's the colorways. It's a real gift. Firstly, I mean, she hand draws all of these. You know, this is, these are her designs completely. Let me spin that around so you get the color there. But just to be able to put these colors together is just so, so clever. Oh, and then the squirrels. I'd forgotten about the squirrels. Yeah, they're not hidden anywhere, are they, the squirrels? And these are like the feature fabrics, if you like. Then you get the spots, you get the stripes, and all of those gorgeous colorways. It's the colors that are spectacular. She's just such a clever lady. There we go. And just how she weaves these designs through together and the different colors. And then you see when you've got, like you might want to put that with that, or you might want to pop that with that. Now this is 1P&P, all of these. I mean, we haven't even gotten on to all of the different spots and the stripes and the candy stripes that maybe you want to line bags with. Maybe you want to just use all of these to do just one enormous bag. Maybe you bought some of her books yesterday and you want to have a go at some of her designs. It's entirely up to you. But look, these are your, I'm going to call them as kind of the feature fabrics. And then this is all of your spots and your stripes so that you've got the colors that absolutely go. Absolutely, not, you know, there or thereabouts. I mean, absolutely go. So if you want 21 meters, that is 42.5 meters, then that is £312.99. 0ZGC, 45 of your code for that. You asked us to bring it back. We have. Please make the most of that because this is not going to hang around at all. Now, Victoria Peat is up after the break making a tote bag. So don't go anywhere. Join us for that with a rather different design that I really rather love. So stay tuned. See you in just a few moments.
Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
Hi, I'm Paul Clark and here are my 3 top tips for dressmaking. My first top tip is the way I pin fabric. I always pin parallel to the edge of the fabric so it gives me a visible sewing line when I'm stitching. My second top tip is pinning a garment together and then trying it on before you do actually do any sewing. That way you can make sure if there's any fit adjustments you need to make. My third top tip is when sewing a curve, such as an underarm seam, sew it first, then trim it as close as you can to that original sewing and it will stop any puckering underneath the arms.
It's easy to buy the products you see on our shows. To buy any of the items featured on today's programmes, just head over to our website www.sewingquarter.com. Click on the video stream and you'll be taken to our watch page. Here you'll find the product that is on air right now at the top of the page. Beneath that, you'll find all the products demonstrated in this morning's shows. To add an item to your basket, simply log into your account or register with us. Then you can either check out or keep shopping. Remember, our flat rate delivery charge lets you shop all day and check out as many times as you like and only pay once for postage and packing. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78.
Spring into the weekend with a new softie by Jo Carter. The fabulous toy designer is joining us this Saturday at 9 AM sewing a sweet lamb toy. Our new kit includes enough fabric to make 2 little lambs with plain and textured fleece fabrics for the body and legs, plus spotty orange and green prints for the feet and ears. Add a spring to someone's step and create these little lambs as an Easter gift or simply treat yourself. So join us at 9 AM on Saturday the 10th of February for an hour of fun with Jo and me, John. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678.
Hello, welcome back. Now, something a little bit different. We've got a new book for you. Well, okay, it's not a new book, it's new to me, which makes me think it's new. So I consider it new. This is a lovely book. This is Sweetly Stitched Handmades. It's by Amy Sinibaldi. Might have said that right, might not. Let's go with Sinibaldi. Sounds very exotic, doesn't it? She's an American designer. She's actually a fabric designer. She designs for art gallery fabrics. And what she's brought together is her own style here, which is really lovely, to bring beautiful handmade gifts, which are perfect for decorating your home. Those little, sometimes you need a little gift. You don't want to go too much. You want the thought to be there. And this is absolutely perfect. Now, we've got 18 different projects in here. We've made one already. Lucy did this. Do you remember this? Yay! It's the dog cushion with his little ears. We've got the bear cushion, rather. We're quite animal themed today. I was thinking about the dog from the previous show. So if you wanted to make this, just in case you wanted to make this, but you had missed out on the bundle, then we've got the bundle for you today. So the bundle to make exactly that is here. It's a whopper. And you get, oh, hang on. Oh, no, it's this one over here. Sorry, looking at the wrong one. And you get down here, you're getting all of this different fabric so that you can do the patchwork. And this is for your blue bear. There we go, 3 meters of fabric. So a ½ meter of each of those. And your felt for the ears and the nose and your thread. That's all in for $34.99, NYGC 44. Now, out of the book, we're making the tote bag as well. Did you want to just see the Liberty bundle that we had for that as well? No, right, okay. Here we go. This is the. There we go. This is the bag. There we are. This is the tote bag that we're making. This is in the book. This is the ABC tote. And we've got the stars fabric for that. Let me show you that. So 1.5 meters of fabric plus your snaps, plus your thread. Here we go. And that is all coming in there for £20.99. So a ½ meter of each of those fabrics. And these handles are great because you're not having to faff about trying to make handles. They're done. Now, 2 other kits to make your bags. Let's have a look at the checked ones. Oh, this is nice. Here we go. So this is your check bundle here. Look at that. Isn't that bad? That's a really different fabric. I like that. I do like that. It's Tim Holtz, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's from the Dapper range, from his Eclectic Elements. Yeah, you can spot a Tim Holtz, can't you, a mile off. And then, look, we've also got that lovely deep burgundy. And that, you see, to put a black would have been too harsh with it, so we haven't. We've gone with a really deep brown, because that's not actually a black. That's a deep brown in there as well. Plus your nice neutral tone handle, your snaps, and your thread. All in there. Brilliant. Now, the last bundle for the bag is over here. And are you demoing this one? Demoing. Yeah. Here we go. And this one here gives you a 1/2 metre, 1/2 metre, and a 1/2 metre of that lovely zigzag. I'm enjoying that. And of course your strap and your snaps and your threads, all in there. Now, I mentioned very quickly some Liberty prints, and we have, so if you wanted to make the bear cushion over there in Liberty prints, then we've got that bundle for you here as well. And here it is. Oh, hang on. So you've got 1/2 metre of all of these. So 1/2 metre, 1/2 metre, 1/2 metre, and then your beautiful Liberty, 1/2 metre there, 1/2 metre, 1/2 metre of all of your Liberty. Now these are your Liberty quilting weights. So that's very new from Liberty to bring quilting weights, and we're lucky enough to be able to stock them here, which is wonderful. Now one last thing is a mega bundle. We love a mega bundle. I'm having to move everything around. So if you want to have a mega bundle, if you want to make the bear and the bag, we've got a whopper. Everything. So basically that's 2 projects out of the book you can get going with straight away. And let's see what is part of this. So with the book as well, so the book, let me grab the book. It's everything. It's everything. So you get the book. It's kind of, I like it when you get a book in there because it's like the never-ending bundle because you always have the book. So there we go, there's your book. Of course you get your handles, and then you get your felt for the detailing on the bear, your poppers for the popper on the bag. Did I say your handle? Been through that. And then, look, here are all of your different fabrics so that you can do the patchwork on your bear. Then you get your fabrics for your bag, more bear fabrics. You can mix and match them through. There we go, you're getting all of that in there for $73.49, but you've got your book, 2 projects at least, and thread in there as well. That's loads, loads and loads. Brilliant. I'm going to take the bag with me. Coming over, Victoria.
Come on in.
Yay. Bag. Well, this is lovely.
It's a good bag, isn't it?
It's a really smart bag, isn't it?
It's a really sturdy, good size bag, and she designed the bag in anticipation of a library trip.
Oh, okay.
So it's good size for those children's size picture books.
Nice.
And nice and roomy, nice and sturdy.
But also stylish.
But also stylish.
I do remember sometimes having to go, forgetting and having to take carrier bags from
Oh, yeah, classy. Don't do the library with a carrier bag.
Yeah, no. Get yourself a proper, because otherwise you break through your carrier bags.
Yeah.
So this is absolutely lovely. And of course on here you can embroider. She likes to embroider, doesn't she?
Yeah, she likes to create that unperfect finish.
Yes.
Because
that's perfect
you
for me.
can't always strive for something that looks totally and utterly perfect. You like to have that personalised feel to it, that, hey, I've made this and I've made it
with love for you.
To me, yes.
Yes.
So yes, you can, she's embroidered in the pattern here, she's done a little ABC embroidery on here, and we've done these little patches. She really likes the idea of patches, and you'll see them in all of the projects in this book.
And I think also, you know, once you have any child that is school-aged, you want their name on there.
Yes,
Let's be honest. You want their name on everything.
Yeah.
And this is all in the book. So I'm going to pop this back.
Wheel her backwards.
To there. And let's find, I don't suppose you can remember off the top of your head, can you, the page number?
No, but it might pop open on the page because I had it open. No,
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
sometimes they do. I would say nearer the front. Yes, here we go. I'm on page 40 for the book.
So, I should have labelled it, shouldn't I? There we go. So she's done it in all sorts of
so here's the little embroidery that she's done here. She's done an ABC and a little bear with an apple on its head.
William Tell bear.
I'm not sure I'd be brave enough.
No,
if you missed. Poor bear.
So full instructions. Oh look, you see, it's got a really nice pocket as well. Hang on, I'm going to get the bag back.
The pocket, it's got 2 different pockets on it. Bring it back in. So you've got a pocket on the outside that we've just spoken about with the ABC on it. That would be good for a little library card or something. And then on the inside,
I put a lot of pins
double
in.
pin.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll stick that one back in and just see. Can we go see from there? It's got a...
I really like
this
that
is a loose hanging pocket here.
That's keys, phone, all the things that otherwise get lost at the bottom of the bag and I spend hours rummaging for and can never find.
Yes. Oh, we don't need that.
I love that actually this isn't going for the child anymore, is it?
No, forget the child.
It's mine.
It's a parent or guardian in charge of child has a nice bag.
Well, let's face it, they don't drag the books, do they? It's always the parent or guardian that has to
can you carry
drag
this?
the books.
That's why you
All
have to
of
have
it.
really giant bags when you're with children, because they
That
never
you
carry
like too.
anything. They don't carry
Said
anything.
with feeling
Well, they
there,
don't carry
Victoria.
anything, do they? Oh, I'm going to bring all these lots of things with me, and you're going to end up carrying them. So you needed a roomy bag. I remember when the children were really young, always thinking, at what point will I stop having to carry wipes, nappies, change of clothes, toys?
I don't think you ever do. I don't think that's it. Once you start, that's it. No stopping.
So the upshot is good size bag.
Yes, absolutely.
Not just for
Roomy.
libraries.
That's what we want.
Good for all sorts.
It is actually. It would make a great changing bag, wouldn't it?
Yes, it
would fit everything in.
Yeah, fits a lot.
Okay, so what do we do?
So today I'm going to show you, talk a little bit about the interfacing that we've used to give the bag some structure.
Oh no, this is something I can't. Another thing I can't pronounce. No change there. How do you say it?
Decaville.
Yes,
Decoville.
she said. We've not used Decaville. Well, I haven't used it on a show yet.
I think it's done, but I can't remember what it was for.
But this is to give. This is. The best way that I can describe it is it gives structure. It helps reduce any kind of fraying or anything like that.
Yeah.
In fact, someone online, when I was looking at it, said that they used it for an impromptu, what do you call it, tablecloth.
Oh, right, okay.
So it gave real structure.
Yes, it would give great structure to it. Because if you look in comparison, this is the lining that I've pre-prepared. So you can see that that's all soft. And then this is the piece that I've prepared for the outside of the bag. And you can see it's totally, it makes it stand up.
It's sturdy without adding any foamy,
yeah, it doesn't make it
bits.
padded.
No,
it just gives it structure. So
it comes like that, and again, I could be showing you anything, couldn't I? It's a plastic bag with something creamy in it.
It is creamy, and one side feels textured. The way that the manufacturers describe it is that it's like leather, so it's got like a suede type feel to it.
Does that mean I have to use a different needle for it?
We would just use a sharp needle.
Okay.
I don't think you necessarily would need to buy a leather needle for it. It was fine with a standard one. So it's got this sort of cottony type feel on one side, or a suede type feel on one side, and then the other side is where the lamination is where the
so
glue is.
that's like any of your fusible inner things.
Yeah, it's just got the two different sides to it.
Excellent.
And the way that you apply it to your fabrics is that you get a damp cloth and place the damp cloth over the top and use the iron.
So the damp cloth basically produces a steam.
Creates the steam.
That then activates the glue that then bonds it.
Yes, but what I do is that I don't go a little bit damp, I absolutely soak the pressing cloth.
Oh, really?
I really soak it, wring it out, and then lay it out over the top, and then I'll get my iron, and it's on the heat setting, I can't remember, it's 2 or 3 dots on the iron, but I place the iron and leave it. Count to 15, pick it up, move it to the next spot. Count
One
to
banana,
15.
2 bananas, 3 bananas, 4
and
bananas.
move. And you'll see where you've been because the pressing cloth gets dry. So you don't lose track of where you've been.
You don't move your pressing cloth because then...
No, then you don't have wet and you get all confused. So just really take your time and go round. So that's why I've pre-done that before the show, because it takes time.
And it wouldn't be the most scintillating
I'm just with my eye. I challenge myself. I put it on and I count to 15, and whilst I'm doing that, I run off and I go and do something, and then I come back,
like
move the iron,
training.
Because otherwise you're just standing there forever. So
just watch Sewing Quarter with you.
Multitask. Then I do nothing. Get totally distracted and do nothing and just staring at the TV.
So this is your lining.
Yes. So one more word about the Decaville. Leave it to set. So don't sew with it straight away, like I said before.
This has
about
been your top tip, isn't it? With anything with a gluey anything that's going to bond stuff, leave it to set
Leave
first.
it to set, and then it's definitely properly adhered. Okay. So that's it. So the way that the outside of the bag is constructed is similar-ish to the lining. So I've done the lining already, and I've sewn front to back, and we've sewn the corners. So we'll look at that in a minute, where we box off the corners. But if we have a look at the front of the bag first.
Yeah.
So we've got the chevron fabric at the bottom, and I've chosen the cotton print at the top, and I've sewn those 2 sections right sides together.
Yes.
And then attached it to the Decaville. So the
Decaville is on, and that's done. And actually that gives just a nice finish, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does give it a nice finish. And then what you can do is you then top stitch the seam between the main fabric and the chevron. There's a top stitch line along here.
Have you top stitched through the...
Everything.
Decaville. I want to call it decoupage. That's why I keep
Oh no, not
stopping myself.
decoupage.
But it's not.
And you have to forgive me, I can't remember whether we stock the Decaville or the Decaville Light. There's two different versions. I think this might be the Light. Not sure.
This is the
Paul
Light. Yes,
can find
it is the
out.
Light. Yes.
Yeah. The Decaville Standard, if you like, is a lot heavier.
Okay.
And you would use it if you were making something really, really sturdy, or like fabric boxes or something.
Yes. Something, yeah.
But what you can do is, if you've got the Decaville, you can just use 2 layers.
Okay.
I've done that before, as I've just
So
layered
this,
up.
this one, the Decaville Light, is a lighter, just a lighter alternative, and a little bit softer as well. Which, if you're going to be carrying it, you want maybe a little bit of softness there.
Yeah, you don't want it too rigid. And this pattern, I've not done it on this sample, and I'll be brutally honest and say I forgot. We've bundled up the snaps on and I've not put the snaps in. What you actually do is you poke in the sides and stick your snaps in here, in this fold.
Oh, okay.
So if you were using the standard Decaville, you probably couldn't do that, because then this becomes really too stiff.
Right.
So you just stick those press studs in there, and then that gives the bag a slightly tapered shape at the top.
Oh, interesting. Quite like as it is.
Well, I think that's why I forgot, because I saw it like that and thought,
Like, I finished, it looks lovely.
Ta-da, I've
The
done.
end.
And then this morning I've come in and gone, oh look, press studs. I forgot press studs.
It happens.
It
It's never a
happens.
mistake, it's a design choice.
It is a design choice indeed.
Yes, that's
So
right.
I will just whiz along here and do the top stitch.
Okay.
Now, what I would say with the chevron fabric, and which you might get on some prints, and this is me being Mrs. McPicky again, is that the chevron doesn't run totally and utterly perpendicular to the side seam.
Right.
So I've cut it ever so slightly off grain to make sure that this chevron runs totally straight across the bag.
I love that you're Mrs. Picky Pete.
Well, it would be annoying if they were just slightly wonky.
To you, you've just got to go with what you feel comfortable with.
So the fabric on the base here, the star one and the chevron one, they're a more coarsely woven and chunkier fabric.
Yes.
They're not like the quilting cottons.
They're more robust, aren't they, as well?
Absolutely, and which is what you need in bag making.
But it also means, because it's a larger thread, so consequently sort of a larger weave, it also means that actually having that Decaville,
Can't find a bit to cut.
it means that actually that's going to stop any fray.
Yeah, it does, because
great.
this does fray a fair amount. So, but the minute you put it on to the Decaville,
It's just the character of the fabric, isn't it?
Yeah. So what we're going to do first of all is, the construction on this pattern is what I would say slightly unusual, in that she suggested attaching the binding to the front and the back piece before you construct the bag.
Oh, really?
Personally, I would probably do that at the very end.
Yeah.
But we'll do it as the pattern suggests today, because if you're not confident in doing something outside of the instructions, and I've gone, do it like this, then you go, oh, I'm not happy
but
with
that's
that.
not what it
We'll
said.
follow by the instructions. So you take your 2 binding strips and you attach those. Excuse me, I just need to shuffle sideways because I want to do both at the same time.
No, that's fine.
So I would line these up here just to make sure that the bottom halves and the top halves are even, and that this seam line matches, so that when you come to put on the binding, that again these match at the side seams when you come to sew them together, because you want to match those up and you don't want one side to be different to the other. And that's not just being fussy, that is. Well, that would look scrappy. And I've got pins. She's laughing at me again, aren't you?
Well, no. I love your perfectionist Pete, as I like to call you.
Whilst we spoke about earlier about how it's nice to have something personalised and handmade, you don't want to look scruffy. I don't think. That's a shame.
Do you know what? I think it also goes with skill level. You know, sometimes when I was first starting out, I'd just be pleased to have made something.
Yes.
You know, I would have noticed that detail, that something was a little bit squiffy.
And actually, you know what? She says that in her foreword of the book.
Oh, does she?
Just be pleased to be making something, get on with it. Don't panic and
Just
don't
get on with
worry.
it.
But don't be held back by worrying about being imperfect.
Yeah,
Just
and
make
it did,
something
you know, for
and
a
enjoy
long time
it.
It did hold me back. I'll be honest, because it didn't feel like it would be good enough. But actually,
Yeah, you don't learn otherwise, do
No.
you?
And if it's just something for yourself and you can live with it, it doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter. And you know what? People very rarely notice mistakes. I've been to sewing groups and quilt clubs where people present their work.
And the first thing they do is point out the mistakes. It's like, no one would have noticed. No one would have noticed.
Don't do it. So I'm using pins here, but you'll notice when we get to the next stage, I'm actually going to move from pins onto sewing clips.
Okay.
Because whilst you can sew through and pin through the Decaville, when you start to go on more layers, the sewing clips, the Wonder clips are normally
the better way to go.
Slightly better way to go.
Okay.
This bag is constructed with 1/4 inch seam allowance.
Okay.
So I'm just going to sew this along the top.
Now, the bag behind me, this kit is the most popular. I'm not surprised, I really love this.
It's nice.
It's striking, isn't it? It's a classic. It's absolute timeless. But here's the thing, you do need to check out your baskets if you're after this. 6 of you have got it just sat there. Lots of you have already checked out. And if you are a new buyer, this is a note for you. Whilst you sit with it in your basket, it is not guaranteed, I'm afraid. And I only say this, it's not to push you, it's just that if you've got your heart set on this, I don't want anybody disappointed because you're like, but I had it in my basket, where did it go? Well, you weren't quick enough. Got to check out. That is why we do our postage the way we do. Our postage is done so that it's £2.95 per day. So that gets added at midnight. So for you, you can check out your basket. When something's running out, when you know that we're running low on stock, you can check out and secure that item. You're not going to miss out. And then the postage is done. So a lot of people sit there because they think they're going to get another P&P added if they check out. No, no, not here. We don't do that. That would be mean.
That's good.
And we're not mean.
We're not mean people.
And if you're new and you're just not quite sure, maybe you just don't like web, then that's fine. Just give us a call. It's free to do so. UK-based call centre, and it's 0800 112 4433. Some places will charge you 13 pence a minute to call their call centre.
Oh no, things like that make me really cross.
Yeah, no, me too. How rude.
Can I give you a job?
Would you like me to press that open?
Yes. If you press that upwards and away,
up and away,
I will then sew the other one.
Up and away.
I'll get those on.
Here we go. And it's okay to press over the
Decaville.
Yeah, every time in my head I'm saying decoupage, and then having to correct myself. Decaville, 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 Decaville. It's another thing that everyone should have in their stash. It's got a Decaville.
Yeah, I used it I'm making, longest project ever, like a rain cape. A cape for dog walking, waterproof type.
Oh, nice.
It's really nice. And the hood, I thought, wasn't quite structured enough. It was a bit floppy. So I actually cut 2 pieces of Decaville and double layered it and put it on the peak, on the inside of the hood, just to stop it flopping around.
The boys upstairs in the production office say, isn't that just a coat? No, it was an actual cape.
So, yes, it hasn't got sleeves as such.
Like a deerstalker cape, like Sherlock Holmes would wear.
Yes.
Yes.
See, now I'm going to have to finish it and bring it in, aren't I?
Yes.
I really should
And then
finish
do
it.
the pattern for it so that we can all make them.
Oh, no, it's a bought pattern.
Okay. Or tell us where you got the pattern so that we can stock it so that we can all make one.
I'll finish it and bring it in.
When I was at school, we had capes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. We had bottle green capes.
Oh, my uniform was bottle green.
With orange lining.
Oh, fancy.
Hideous. Utterly hideous. But we did used to run up and down the road swooping like that.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, yeah. It was hideous. I can't wear anything but green now.
No, I can't either. I really struggle. I've got a jumper in my wardrobe, and
I'd love to love it.
Just can't quite.
No.
They managed to pair our bottle green tunic dresses with a grey shirt.
That's all right.
No, it was really not all right.
It's better than my
awful
J-cloth orange check that we had with our green.
Yeah, you win.
I mean, they really thought, how could we make this as disgusting as possible?
That is horrid.
Anne-Marie says, morning ladies, love the bag. Tell Victoria you never stop carrying stuff. Mine are teenagers. Oh, man. It's because they never move out.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she's got over teenagers. You know, she's got like in their 20s. They've gone past being teenagers and she still can't shift them.
Probably still carrying their bags with them too.
My brother he didn't move out for a long time. Poor mum and dad.
Well, it's comfy. I've told Freddie he doesn't ever have to move out. It's fine.
Aww.
He can always stay at home. I might regret that, mightn't I? Teenage years. I think that's why we were given the teenage years. So that you don't mind when they move out.
Maybe that's what it is.
Right, we're getting clips out.
Okay, we're getting clips out. So now we sew this right sides together.
It's looking pretty already, isn't it?
looks nice. I love these colours together. They're really nice. I wasn't sure when I was sent the fabrics. I thought, oh, I'm not sure which ones to do, and I thought actually that one will look nice and bold as a finished product. And I thought these are nice to show as a demonstration.
Is that classic, isn't it? I really do enjoy that.
Nice.
Now then, what are we doing
I'm
here?
matching up the seams where we attached the bottom part of the bag to the top part.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure that they match, because if you look at the bag on its side, you want this bit.
You do see it.
Yeah, you want this bit to be even on
Right.
each other, because if it's out of place, it's going to look a bit messy. No, we don't. And how much was the bundle for this? Was it 20 something?
Oh, hang on, we've had an email. Carol says, hi Sewing Quarter team. Just a line to say I've received my winning bundle of K Facet goodies and I'm thrilled to bits. Wow. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I've been a patchwork and quilter for at least 30 years and cannot believe we have a TV channel devoted to all things sewing. Well done. All the best for the future, says Carol. Carol, I'm utterly thrilled for you.
How
Utterly
exciting.
thrilled.
What brilliant post to receive.
Well, do you know what? It just goes to show, doesn't it? You just get involved and you never know. You just never know.
Exactly.
And to get Kay Facet.
I know.
Because Kay is one of those people, isn't it, that everybody's heard of.
Yeah.
You know, some designers, some fabric
then
designers,
you
you
know.
have to have been in the fabric industry to have heard of. But Kay, it's been around for so many decades.
And makes such amazing fabric, and not everybody.
It might be that you knew him from his knitwear.
Yeah.
Not just his fabrics. Yeah. So well done, Carol. Congratulations. Now,
Good job. So now we're just going to stitch all the way around, and because this is a drop-in lining, you don't need to leave any room for turning or anything like that.
so just go for it.
So what I've done is I've just made sure that those binding strips at the top have been matched, and like you said earlier, the seams at the bottom half where we've colour blocked, that those match.
Yes.
To try and get the best finish possible. But you can see here I've just got a standard needle on the sewing machine, and it's just going through. Go through nice and easy. And I can't even guarantee how old this needle is. How often do you reckon they get changed? But it's going through absolutely fine.
We possibly should. Elizabeth in Kent, a bit like my needles, says, hi Natasha and Victoria, love this bag. Missed what you use for the lining. Is it a fusible one, says Elizabeth. Elizabeth, yes it is. It's not decoupage, it's decaville. Decaville.
Made by
Visaline, I think.
Yep.
We get most of our fusibles from Visaline now.
Well, they're good quality, so there's no
sense
sense in trying to scrimp on those.
I mean, this is the most unexciting way of viewing it in a plastic bag. Yeah, have you got
Well,
a piece?
my little
your
sample.
bit?
There's
Oh,
my
there we
little
go.
sample.
This is more helpful. So it makes it sturdy, means it's going to fray less. It means you can't rip or tear it or anything like that. As Victoria was saying earlier, it kind of feels suede-y on the side that you're going to feel, and then you've got your usual fusible side there. You need to absolutely wet a tea cloth or a pressing cloth or something like that. Put it on, put that onto the fabric. That's your adhesive side, and then literally put your iron on for 15 seconds, let the steam from that pressing cloth then activate the glue and adhere it to your fabric. And if you have just joined us, then the project is out of a very fabulous book. It's really lovely. We haven't actually looked at this in detail, have we? We've only looked at the bag. We saw the bear cushion that Lucy made. You've got 18 different projects in here. Now, the lady that has written the book is actually a fabric designer for Art Gallery Fabrics. Fabrics that actually we had Art Gallery Fabrics on Tuesday.
There was some last week, I think.
We had them on Tuesday and they sold out.
Oh, not surprised. They're really sweet fabrics, really nice.
The photography, as ever, is lovely. Now, this is what we were saying about personalising things. A little bit of hand stitching there. Jam. And then, oh, look at this. There's something for everyone. Baby bear rattle. That's rather gorgeous, isn't it?
My children loved those. I had a couple.
And just something a little bit different. So if you're giving a gift, maybe you've made a little quilt, maybe you want to just add in a matching rattle.
And use your scraps.
Yes.
From a bigger project.
Beautiful. It's like one of those traditional gifts. Freddie's got lots of wooden toys because I really love wooden things rather than plastic.
Yeah, they're nice keepsakes.
Oh, look at that little one. I don't think the baby's for sale. I think
no, you don't. No instructions on how to make those.
I'm not telling you how to make that.
That's a different kind of book.
He says, how do I make them? That's another show entirely. But there's your modern colour block quilt. That's after 9 o'clock at night. And here it goes. It's just really pretty, isn't it? Unashamedly pretty. Sometimes the simplest things are, aren't they? Oh, look at this. Ruffle collar bib.
Friend of mine,
Yeah.
whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday,
Happy
Melissa.
birthday.
She said when she had her children little, she used to make matching bibs for their outfits because she thought all the other ones from stores were miserable, so she used to make them.
Wow.
So I thought of her when I flipped through that book.
Gosh, that's dedication, isn't it?
I know.
Gosh.
But they are sweet, and there she's embroidered the little
There's
names
the bear. There's your
One
bear
bear.
pillow. I do love the bear pillow. And we've got 2 choices for that today. If you wanted to do it with the Liberty fabric, we've got that. But real easy step-by-step instructions. And then this is the bag.
on. One bag.
Are we just working our way through the book, I think, with projects?
Yes, so to start at the beginning, I like this Mouse House Doll quilt.
Nice.
It's so sweet, and there's little doors. They haven't got a picture of it, but there's little doors on there making houses, and behind are embroidered mice.
That's brilliant.
How sweet is that?
Brilliant. It
Very
is.
sweet.
It is unashamedly cute.
It's very sweet.
Right.
Right, so I've
This is looking
sewn
good.
all around the outsides. What you need to do next is box off these corners.
Okay.
So if you fold it,
It's really sturdy.
It is
Look at
quite
that.
sturdy, isn't it?
Yeah.
so I'm going to fold that and try and make sure that this, you would press it normally, but we could do with one, well, we could do with one of those pressing arms. Have you seen those little mini ironing tables?
we haven't got one of those today.
Just to get in. For bag making, those are quite useful. But what you want to do is make sure that this seam here on the base runs in line with this seam here on the side.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'll end up, and I'll show you.
Oh, not a
here.
wonky bottom, Victoria.
You'll end up, you sort of want, that's not perfect, but you get the base seam and the side seam meet.
Okay.
And if you don't get them matched, like I was showing here, they go off kilter. And off kilter a little bit is fine, but if you go too far, your bag ends up sitting slightly skew-if.
Oh, okay.
So-
So then you've always got to have stuff in it, so you can just blame the stuff that's in it.
Yes, oh, there's so
That's
much
the
in my
other
bag. So what you can do is you can just
got all the
feel, been there, done that, is you can feel underneath where those seams are going. But if you can't feel for any reason, one of the ladies that comes to me for sewing lessons, she's got issues with the nerve endings in her finger, so she couldn't quite feel. So what I've done is I've just stuck a pin through that side seam here, and to see where it comes out on this side. I can't quite see that, but it's almost coming out in the middle of that seam. So we'll just
So
make sure.
are you happy with that, or are you going to no, you're going to reposition it, aren't you? Because you are
a little
perfect
bit.
Pete.
A little. Right. So
That's said with love.
it is it.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay. So at that point, we then need to mark a line that is 3 inches across.
So would you go from 1.5 inches? And
So
then...
I've just got one line of the ruler in the middle, and we want to go out to 3.5 inches. So I would say that
You've
probably
done it.
needs
Look
to
at
go
you, spot on.
smidgen up and just draw a line.
Okay.
And then I'm going to clip that just to make sure that it doesn't move out of place.
Pretty clip.
Clippity clip. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side.
So you wouldn't sew it yet? I'd be tempted to quickly sew
yeah,
that,
you
then
can
I can
sew
take
it.
all my clips out and...
But then I'll just do both at the same time.
Oh, that
Just
makes more sense.
opening out those seam allowances, assuming that you've pressed that nicely.
And it does press okay. You can
Oh, it
press on.
presses
You can press
absolutely
on
fine.
that side once it's all attached with the
Yes.
Decaville.
Yep,
Okay.
that's not a problem.
See, these are the things that it's not going to tell you on the packaging, is it? That's why we need to find out. We've got another message from Jean. She
Hi,
says,
Jean.
good morning to all the amazing 7 Quarter team. I'm loving all the projects you bring to us. I won the quilt block competition. I got it in, hooray. And would like to thank all the people who voted for me. All the blocks were fabulous, and there is such a wealth of talent out there. I am looking forward to receiving my fabric and planning lots of projects. Many thanks and keep on sewing, says Jean. You see, thank you, Jean. It's like the winner's hour, isn't it?
Yeah, winner's hour.
Winner's hour today.
Oh.
So our birthday week, winner, chicken dinner, I think.
Without
as
a doubt.
Carol said, you know, just absolutely get involved. You
And
never
outside,
know.
I was just seeing there was another prize being packaged up, ready to be sent off.
Oh, we do like to package and send.
Package and send.
Now, do we go forwards and back? to
Yes,
hold
I'm going to
these?
do a bit of a forwards and backwards.
Okay.
Just move the clips out the way. Just making sure that those seam allowances stay open because they're not pressed. So at this point, this is the same method that we're using for the lining. So we've done the same thing. We've attached the front and back together, and I've boxed off the corners. And that's what I showed you at the beginning.
Bag exactly the same for the lining. It's just that it's not in.
It's not interfaced
with the binding.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you.
You're with me. Haven't lost you along the way.
No, in fact, while you do that, I might go and have a look at some bundles.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, come on then.
Come on then.
Now, very, very popular this hour, I'm not surprised, is of course the Stars bundle, because you can already see, can't you already see how wonderful the bag looks? You get poppers, you get threads, 2 different threads. You know, we don't skimp on thread. No, give you 2. There it is. Poppers thread and your handle. I really love these webbing handles. I hate turning handles through, and so actually that's sturdy and great, and I don't have to do anything about it. Then you also get 1/2 metre of your stars, 1/2 metre of your red, and 1/2 metre inside, and this is what you can be making. Yes. Fabulous. Now, the one that Victoria is using today is a lovely combination of springtime colours, because spring is happening. So we've got a chevron. It is, I promise, it's happening, yeah. Spring is springing. So you've got that lovely kind of dusky pink chevron, and then you've got your baby blue, and then you've got that lovely cream there. And you've also got your handle and your threads and your clip snaps. Clip snaps? Clip snaps? Yep, snaps. $23.49 for that one. Hey, you know what we really haven't focused on at all is Tim Holtz. Can't believe we've got Tim Holtz. We've barely looked at him. Here we are. I haven't even seen this Tim Holtz fabric yet. This is new to me. Treat. There you go. So if you want maybe a more masculine feel to the bag, or maybe you just love these colours, then this is very, very popular. Good, I'm glad. So you've got, I think it's really smart. Check it out. Now, this isn't actually black. It's, it does look a little bit tweedy. Yeah, it's nice. And then you've got the linen look in your beautiful sort of maroony colour. And then we've put in a really dark brown here, because that's not black. So black would have been too dark. And yet if you look at that on a screen, you might be forgiven for thinking that's black. No, it's not, it's brown. Yes, you may ask a question, Victoria Peat.
Is that a quilting cotton weight, the Tim Holtz,
it is
or
a
is it more
quilting
like the
cotton weight.
canvas?
No, it's a quilting cotton weight. So you want to be decavilling that up. Decavilling that up, definitely. And of course your strap and your snaps. Lots of you got that in your baskets. Well done to you. $26.99. Oh, enjoy. Come on, Pete, let's see what you're up to.
So when you are going to turn it through, the decaville can be a little bit stiff to turn through. And it happens a lot in bag making. And if you're making a smaller bag, it's more difficult. But what you can do is you can just give it a blast with a hairdryer. So if you've got a smaller bag that you're trying to turn through to the right side, get the hairdryer in, give it a blast of warm air. That will just make it a little bit more pliable, and you can turn it through.
Oh, magic. We need a bell or something for all these top tips, just to really, really highlight them.
A tip bell.
Yeah.
So, nice and sturdy.
Lovely.
So we've got on the sides, let's pick one that looks better than the other. They're not too bad, actually.
Thank you. Good job.
Not too bad. So we've got on the sides.
Doing all right.
So
give yourself a pat on the back.
Pat on the back.
Yeah.
So we've got the base matching up with the side seam. You've got the colour blocked section. So that's the base here.
Yeah.
You've got your colour blocked section matching.
Yeah.
Or a bit of loose thread. And then the top, the binding on the top matches.
Nice.
So take your time on each of those stages.
All 3 of those lining up beautifully.
So that's the outside of your bag.
Never seen binding done like this. I'm quite intrigued as to how that's going to finish.
So the way that you would, well, we wouldn't do it at this next step. We're going to, I'll show you the pocket, the hanging pocket.
Oh, the pocket's got to go in.
We've got a bit of time. And then you, so you would drop the lining in.
Now, you see, actually, this is the beauty of this, is that there's no leaving gaps to turn through and bag out and do all that kind of faffy. This is just...
I'm just turning that binding back.
Right.
So you drop your lining in, match up the raw edges, and then we're going to make a pocket and slip that pocket in. And then after that, you fold the binding over the top. So is the binding the last
thing that you do? It's almost like a top stitch.
Yes, almost. So what I've done on this one, she's back again, is you put the binding over. So you've hidden the stitches inside. So you've wrapped the binding over, and then you stitch it. I stitched in the ditch.
Right.
So that you can't see the stitching from the front, but you can see it on the inside. So you can see here where the binding's been folded over the edge and I've stitched along.
Now you have 2 threads. So you could, if you wanted, you could have your bottom thread as the sort of ecru-y colour.
Yep.
So that actually you don't see that
Don't
if you're
see
a bit worried about, is it going to be
Wonkiness.
wobbly?
Wobbly.
Not that you would, because, you know, perfect Peat.
All the time. Always wonky, and you look at things and go, I thought I was going straight and it's super
How did that
wonky.
work? Yeah.
So yes, you would, so you drop the lining in, you put the pocket in, then you turn that over the top and stitch that on. You then put the handles on afterwards. Personally, I would controversial. Personally, I would put the handles on before I put the lining in, because you then avoid seeing, oh, that's pinned in, you would avoid seeing the stitches on the inside. So I'd probably put the handles in. But the way that the instructions tell you to do it is to effectively finish the bag, put the handles on at the end.
I guess I've done that because they've already put the binding round.
Yes.
So otherwise you've got to, yeah. I see.
Horses for courses. So
it's just a different way, isn't it?
It is.
Sometimes it's nice to try a different method.
Yeah, it is good. So with these handles, they're stitched on the underside. You can see them. Go on, we're going to take this off now.
Let's unpin. I got a bit overexcited because someone did it with drawing pins. They weren't quite long enough, so I've got a few pins.
Other pins. So you can see here on the inside where the handles have been attached. So if we look from the outside,
oh, you can't see it.
The ends of the handle have been, I've zigzagged them across the bottom here, which is where they show here. I've then also stitched along the top of the webbing,
to reinforce,
along here, which I've done on the same line that the binding was attached with, so that that blends in there.
Well, let's face it, if this is a book bag, if this is a library bag, you're going to need that
those handles in.
Yes.
And then on this side, though, those ends, oh, look, I've not snipped those, get hidden by the pocket anyway.
That's because it's hidden.
So that's
see, you didn't need to snip them.
I know. So then, I forgot. So on this side, you've got the little patches that you create and put those over the ends of the handles.
Yes.
And so you've got those with a bit of hand embroidery.
You could personalise that. You could put an initial on each of those.
That would be nice. So this is what the handles look like before the patches go on.
Okay.
So I've just zigzagged across the bottom and done that top stitching. And then on the other side is where I've put those patches on.
Perfect. Okay. We've had an email from Sue. Hi, Sue. What's Sue got to say? Oh, here we go. It's coming up. Good morning, ladies. Lovely sewing show, as usual. No housework being done here. Housework's overrated. They're going to get dirty again.
She's right.
Would you use the Decaville for the front panel of a cushion for structure, or would it be too rigid? I thought about using HG40.
Yeah, I probably
H640.
H6, yes, I would say using H640.
Would be the better, because it's softer,
cushion,
isn't it? It's a fleece, it's a fusible fleece, whereas this is giving you structure. But good question. And these are the questions that we're here to answer, because otherwise, how do you know?
No, you wouldn't know.
How would we know?
You wouldn't know. Okay, so let's, we've got a little bit of time. So the pocket is cut out of 2 different rectangles.
Yes.
Which have been bound. So I've pre-made some binding, which you cut on the straight grain. You don't need to cut that on the bias because it's not going around any corners. And that's just double folded. So that's folded in half. Yeah. And then the ends have been folded into the middle to hide them.
You've got 14 minutes. So you're right.
I have 14 minutes, that's fine. So, and what I've done with this is because it was a directional print, I thought it'd be nice to flip the chevrons the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's quite nice. And then I was careful with the pocket on the main bag as to where the stars were. So I made sure that you could see some stars at the top of the pocket. Because I thought that was nicer.
All in the attention to detail, isn't it?
Yeah, just have a little thing. And just make sure that you do read through the pattern first, with anything, absolutely anything, just to make sure before you cut your fabrics that you're making the right decisions as you cut.
Okay.
Because you might want to zhuzh things up a bit.
Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah. Yeah. And just plan your projects. Don't go bringing in, as my dad would say.
What does he say?
Have you heard the word bringing?
No. Is it an Australian word?
No, it's not. I mentioned it to someone the other day and I thought, I wonder if my dad made that word up. But he didn't. Apparently it's a Scottish word.
Bringing.
Bringing.
Bringing. How do we spell that?
B-R-E-E-N-G-I-N-G.
See, my grandma used to make up words. Because she never used to drink whammy tea. She's like, oh no, I can't drink that. It's whammy.
Whammy.
And everybody knows what you know that when the tea's just, it's not quite cold. Right. It's not quite warm enough to drink. Whammy tea.
Tepid tea.
No, whammy.
Whammy.
Yeah. And everybody, you know, when you say it, you're like, oh yeah, no, I do know. But that's her word.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
At least your dad gives you words that actually exist.
Yes, but when I told someone about it, I thought, I really do wonder whether he's made that up.
Is that because they looked at you a bit funny?
Yeah, and I suddenly went, oh, has my dad made that up? We're all right, he didn't.
Every confidence in your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it's come from because we're not Scottish.
He lives in Australia, doesn't he?
Well, he does now. No, but they're British though. They came from Devon.
Oh, nice.
Devonians. So I've wrapped that round the top and just going to stitch that in place.
Now, Devonians are cream first, then jam on scones, aren't they?
I don't know,
Yeah,
because
no,
I would always
Cornish
do jam
is
first.
jam first and then cream.
No, I'm jam first.
You see, I always know because I used to get scorned living in Cornwall and doing it the wrong way around.
I see the jam go. Definitely jam first.
When I used to use the cream like butter.
Oh no, I
And
use
then
it
jam
much
on
thicker
top.
than that. I think
Like
that's my
thick
problem.
butter.
Yeah, really, really thick.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to scrimp if you're having scones with cream. Don't scrimp.
See, this is what happens again. It's the 11 o'clock hour, isn't it? We're talking about food again.
I know.
It happens every day.
See, the friend I was telling you about whose birthday is today, she had a baby shower at the weekend. And we went for a tea, afternoon tea, surprise afternoon tea, and there was scones, jam and cream.
Yes, perfect. So trim those ends off.
Yes, we're
Neaten
just going
up now.
Trim the ends off. Nearly.
You and those rotary cutters, you're very precise.
I know.
I'd need a pair of scissors. I'm not going to lie, I'd need a pair of scissors, but you're a bit of a whiz with these things.
Oh, no. I'm missing a piece of binding. Oh, well, that hasn't worked
Are
well,
you?
has it? Yeah, I need a piece that goes around the whole, all the way.
Oh,
What have I done with that?
Should we have a look at it on the inside of here?
Yeah. Oh, no. That's because I'm constructing it the wrong way. Sorry. I'm with you. So, the way,
Whilst you have a look,
the, way
look.
the pocket is constructed is unusual.
It's different in the book. Here we go, we'll show you. In the book it says,
if I could just remind myself, is that you sew the pocket.
Here's your pocket.
Here's your pocket. So we're going to sew it so that you've got the wrong side facing upwards of the main larger piece of pocket.
Yeah.
And then you put the smaller piece on this side, and we're going to sew along this bottom edge.
Okay.
And then I'm going to flip it over to that side.
it is all different, isn't it?
I suddenly went, oh dear, I haven't got binding. I do have binding.
It's enough.
It is enough.
And
We're
you're
all
just
right.
finding those straight corners. Straight corners?
Straight
Straight
corners?
lines down the edges. We know what we mean.
We know
It's all
what we
good.
mean.
We've got 8 minutes. I want to show you another thing in here because I think you can do a bit of upcycling with this as
What
well.
have you found?
I found the lovely covered crayon tins.
Oh, yeah.
I just think they're great fun.
But you know what's nice is with the mega bundle that we're selling today,
Yes.
is that you can create the bag, create the cushion, and
Yes.
then there's so many smaller projects in there.
It is. It's a little person's joyful. You know, just make their room more joyful and colourful and lovely. And then look, also what you've got in here is a little something for yourself. And again, this seems to be her signature, doesn't it? To have that little patch on there with it all embroidered. So you can make yourself one of those. That's pretty. Now, Victoria, you mentioned the mega bundle.
The mega bundle.
Let me show you the mega bundle. Now, this has got 4.5 metres and the book and the felt for the bear. And you've got the strap and the snaps and the threads. You get 3 different threads in here. I mean, it's a whopper. But the book's in there too, which is really lovely, so it never ever runs out. Plus 4.5 metres of fabric. So you can make the bear, you can make the book, you can make the book. And then, yes, that's right. You can't make the book, but you've got the book. You can make a cover for the book.
Yes, you can make
She's
the
got
cover for
book
the
covers
book.
in there. You can make the tote bag, you can make the cushion, you can make the little covers for your jam pots or your crayon pots, and just enjoy it. It's about having an excuse and having the inspiration to decorate your home with these beautiful little knick-knack things that just make a house a home.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? To
Yeah.
have something, and they're coordinating, and you're making the most of your fabrics.
Yes,
You're not just
absolutely.
adding scraps to your scrap tin.
To your ever-growing scrap pile.
Okay, so I've sewn the bottom together. I've
Yes.
flipped it over to the right side, and I've just stitched that in place to give it a bit of extra strength.
Well, I'm an over bag filler, I'm an over pocket filler, so to have that reinforced with a top stitch, that's good. And also it helps it lie nicely too.
Yes, it does. It gives it a bit more structure.
Because you haven't decavilled this, have you?
No, I haven't. I guess you could decavill the reverse of it if you
It's
wanted
up to you, doesn't it?
So just get another piece of the binding.
No, oh, here we go. There it is. Produce Sports, come down there. Sylvia says, hi, Tash and Victoria. How wide is the Deckerville? Great show, says Love Sylvia.
Oh, now you're asking. I think it's 1 metre long, but I'm not sure whether it's...
Just
it might be a 1 metre by 1 metre piece. I can't remember.
It doesn't tell us anywhere, so let's... good question, Sylvia. Thank you. And quite frankly, there we go. Here we go. Let's have a look. It's coming out.
It's out.
It's tear resistant. There you go.
That
About
looks
a
like
metre
to me.
square, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a metre.
It's a lot there, actually, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we say, oh, it's a metre square, that's a lot. But we never actually get it out and have a good look. But that is a lot, and that is your metre square. Feels really funny. It does feel...
It? Do you not like the feel?
No, it feels like oilcloth.
Yes, it does almost feel like an oilcloth, doesn't it?
Yeah, because when
a good quality oilcloth.
Yes, when I read the review of the lady that said that she'd used it to make a tablecloth, I assumed that she'd used it like an oilcloth, which is why I said to you, well, is it waterproof? No, it's not. Well, I don't know. I've not tried it like that. But
it's not marketed as a waterproof product.
And because the bit that feels like the oilcloth is actually the adhesive bit, which you can see is kind of shiny. And then this is the kind of suede bit, which I guess actually is going to give you a little bit of grip and purchase on your table. Yes. So if you've got a polished table, that's going to sit nicely on it and not move. But you are going to have to check out your basket.
And it also means...
the first time I've brought this to wear. I don't know if John's brought it to wear, but
you will have done, because like I say, I've used it for something. I just can't remember which project it was for. I have to think back and find out.
Rack your brains, Victoria Peat. Rack your brains.
The nice thing as well is that the suede type side of it means that it makes it easier for going through your machine. Because things like an oilcloth, it wants to stick to the bottom of your foot.
Yes.
I'm just sewing this along, and what I've done is I've got the piece of bias binding, but at the end I folded it under to the wrong side of the pocket.
I guess we should have known the metre square, because that's how we sell the H640.
But I guess it could have been a different width for some reason. Yeah. They could have made it a different width.
That seems to be how Visaline sell it. We've got 4 minutes left, Victoria.
Where did those 10 minutes go?
I don't know.
So I've attached that on one side, and you do the same thing on the other.
Yes.
And then you would baste that to the top of the bag, where we've dropped the lining into the bag. You baste that in place, and then you baste this. Do you have to hand baste that in? Only if you want to.
Okay.
You can. It's totally possible to do it by machine, but bag making can sometimes involve a fair amount of acrobatics, I find, because you're creating.
Is that why you're a gym instructor? Just so you can bag make?
I'm so not acrobatic at all. But yeah, I find that because you're making a 3D shape and it's got structure to it, when you're making clothing, they're still really pliable.
Yes.
But with bags, you're making something that's
structured.
Got a structure, so it's more difficult to get under the machine. So you might want to, if you're more comfortable, hand stitch it.
It's only a thought.
It's only a thought.
I'm enjoying these chevrons going all over the place.
Yeah, good chevron.
But it makes the pattern really stand out, doesn't it?
I think they're nice.
Yeah. It's that soft pink I really like.
Dusky,
duskiness
to it. But without being autumnal. It's got like you say, it's quite springy.
It's like a tea rose pink, isn't it?
Oh yeah, washed vintagey print to it.
And then with that blue, it's just a really pretty colour combination. You see, whereas this one's lovely and striking. Yeah, nice striking colour combination here.
But it's
nice. The Tim Holtz is nice.
I was going to say that we've got something for everyone in terms of the bundles that are being put together.
Because the bag is very much for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's nice to have something different. And I think that Tim Holt one would make a really smart bag.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Smart.
Very nice.
So a little bit about the patches, because I'm conscious that we're running out of time.
Well, producer Paul saying, start checking out your baskets, people.
Checking out. So the patches are made by sewing 2 squares together, right sides together. So I've got 2 here actually.
Shall I show?
Yeah, you can show those if you like.
So you've sewn 2 right sides together.
Yeah, totally all around all 4 edges.
Okay.
And then the way she suggests to do it is that you then get your seam ripper or a small pair of scissors to cut into. There you go, there's your pocket, one wonky edge. So you get your square and you pinch them apart.
Is this like how we did the paw? Would have done the paw?
How we would have done the paw. So you can just, so I've sort of.
You've got to pinch it apart because otherwise you're going to go through the.
Pinch it, and then you either use your scissors or you can use a seam ripper just to put a hole. That's not very sharp. Would you mind passing me the little scissors, please? We'll give up on the seam ripper.
It's obviously been well used, our
Well
seam ripper.
used. Oh dear, that's not good, is it? So you can just cut into that and then turn it through to the right side.
Excellent. We are out of time.
Out of time.
So whilst you spin that around, it leaves me to say thank you.
No problem.
Thank you ever so much. Some beautiful
That's all
makes
right.
this morning. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I like the fact we've got a completely different way of making bags. You know, rather than your traditional do it like this.
Yep.
Let's try it another way.
Give it a go.
Push those corners out and then hand stitched on with.
Yeah, do some embroidery floss or, like you say, some initials would be nice on there.
Very nice. Victoria, when are you back?
Next week, I'm going to say. I'm going away for the weekend and it's totally threw me and I can't figure out which day is which. I think Wednesday next week.
Decadent of you. Have a lovely time. Amazing. Thank you ever so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Hurrah. Next Wednesday, apparently.
Next Wednesday.
Says you're in next Wednesday.
Yep.
Now, where to start? The stars. Let's start with the stars. So if you're after the stars, if you want to make the bag that we've made and you want to make it just like that, then you're going to need the book, but you're also going to need this fabric. Everything that you need is in the kit. You've got your 2 different threads. You've got your snaps of all sorts of different sizes. You've got your handle. You've got 1/2 metre of your stars, 1/2 metre of your red and 1/2 metre of your ecru. Now, Tim Holtz, we barely touched on this and yet you've loved it and I don't blame you because the colour combination is really lovely. So we've got this nice chocolatey brown there, 1/2 metre of that. Then this lovely maroon that goes with it. It's quite an autumnal, it's just smart actually, isn't it? And that's your Tim Holtz. That's from his eclectic range. Really lovely. And then of course your threads, we've got to match those threads. Now the mega bundle, I'm going to show you the mega bundle because you get the book, which means that it's a never-ending bundle because you've always got the book to look into. So you've also got enough fabric in here to make the bear cushion that we've got there, that one, and the bag. So you've got 2 different projects and loads left over. So you can have a good play, mix and match things through. There's your felt for the ears. You've got your snaps for your bag and your handle. So that's all in there. Then you've got all of these beautiful fabrics. So it means you can mix and match it up entirely how you wish. There's a whopping 4.5 meters of fabric in here. So there's an awful lot and all of these lovely colors. And you've also got that nice sort of canvasy fabric there. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So you've got all of that plus the book. It is a big whopper of a bundle there. It's all in. All in, all in. Now, talking of big whopping bundles. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We had this. We were so privileged to have Julia Pink actually in the studios. We had 2 hours with her yesterday and this sold out in minutes. This is her latest collection. It is 42, yes, you did hear me correctly, 42 1/2 meters, each one different, of Julia Pink's latest collection. And this is a whopping 21 meter bundle. Look at all of that. Now, this sold out in moments yesterday, absolutely moments. So please, if you have this in your basket today, don't miss out again. Don't even risk it. There's no point in risking it. Don't do that. Don't do that because it just is exquisite. Not only do you have all of those gorgeous fabrics, but you've got all of the stripes as well, so and the spots. So let's have a look what we've got coming up tomorrow, because we're almost out of time today. Gosh, how did that happen? So tomorrow, 8 AM, your Mosaic Magic quilt with Jess. She's back to do that. That's what's been hanging behind us today. 9 AM is our favourite quilts. Yes, we've been going a year, so we've picked some of our favourites for you. And then 10 AM, we've got a bag making masterclass. And again, that's with our lovely Jess. And then 11 AM, clever tools under £15. I could do with a clever tool. So if you want to get your hands, and oh my word, I would just spend hours just, you know, rearranging my Julia fabrics. So if you want to get your hands on all of this, check out your baskets and I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Bye-bye.
On the 9th of February, we have a quintessential quilting treat for you. Join me, Natasha McCarty, for an hour of our favourite quilts from our first year on air. At 9 AM, we'll take a trip down memory lane and look through our famous kits, including the stunning Bargello quilt, a round-the-world quilt kit, and the adorable kitty cat quilt. Bargello quilting is all about the colour, so our expert quilters have carefully selected the perfect palettes for this best-selling kit. The hardest part will be choosing your favourite colour combination, from sweet sorbets, deep jewel tones, bold brights, and not forgetting the infamous rainbow-inspired hues. What a decision! So don't miss out on what's set to be a wonderful hour of our ultimate kits. Tune in at 9 AM on the 9th of February, only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678.